You're listening to The Zone, ESPN Radio, 1600 AM, Cedar Rapids.
We now leave our network programming to bring you the following special sports presentation.
The history, the tradition, the fun of Kernels baseball.
It's time for exciting live coverage of Kernels baseball, right here on the Kernels Radio Network. Now, the voice of the Kernels. In his 11th season, here's John Rogers.
And it's a glorious, sunny, spotless Sunday afternoon, a 68-degree temperature as the Kernels are set to conclude their 8-game homestand, taking on the Wisconsin Timber Rattlers in the fourth and final game of a 4-game set that has seen the Timber Rattlers win the last two, scoring 2 in the ninth inning Friday afternoon in the noon game. And then last night, Wisconsin played it a run in the 11th inning and edged the Kernels 3-2. The Kernel homestand record is now 4 wins and 3 losses, and the Kernels have slipped into a tie for fourth in the 8-team Western Division first-half standings with Wisconsin. Both ball clubs have won 14 and lost 15. There's not a cloud in the sky. A light breeze is blowing out from the first baseline towards left center, and we have a very special guest with us on the South Slope Communications Triple Play Show this afternoon. Author Steve Sullivan's alongside, and he has just finished his first book, Talking Baseball Amongst Friends. And Steve, you're here in Cedar Rapids, and you'll be here promoting your book. And let's start with the basics. How did you get into book writing, and what's this first book about?
Well, this first book is about what I really did is I went across the country interviewing a bunch of Major League superstars and broadcasters and executives and college coaches and fans, getting the most memorable experience in the game of baseball. How I got into it, I was in my late 20s, and I wanted to figure out what it was I really wanted to do with the rest of my life, and I was incredibly passionate about baseball, and I love talking baseball and helping people, and I love to write. So I figured for me that was a perfect avenue to get into and just delve into it, and just had the time of my life working on this project.
Oh, it's a wonderful cover, and they say you can't judge a book by its cover, but this one has the title, Talking Baseball Amongst Friends, with your name, Steve Sullivan, and then an old black and white picture of a kid in suspenders winding up in behind, it looks like an alley and some tenements, perhaps in New York City, with the laundry being draped across the alleyway and some kids standing in a wagon, a kid at the plate, maybe he's using a bat, maybe a broomstick. How did you even think of such a clever and attention-getting picture?
Well, it's a famous picture by Louis Hine. It's called Playground in Tenement Alley. And I remember watching the movie Bull Durham, and I'm a big minor league baseball fan, and I love watching that movie Bull Durham. And in the beginning of the movie, there's that image, and that's been one of my favorite shots. And I got the rights for it from George Eastman House, and I bought the rights for it and asked them if I could use it for my book, and they said absolutely.
There's a lot just in the picture, not to mention the wonderful writing that you do. Steve, what trained you to be a writer? Your educational background, your experience, you mentioned your passion for the game. It's not easy to sit down and have the discipline to interview folks, but then how do you write?
Well, I grew up in Illinois, and I grew up with just my mom, and she always encouraged me to be creative and focus on education. So she always would challenge me to do different things, and she asked me if I liked certain baseball players to write a report about him, and different things. And my love for writing just kind of evolved over the years. And when I studied at USC, I studied marketing and logistics. We had to put together a lot of presentations that really contained a lot of research and how to put things together in a manageable way. So for me, that just became second nature. And writing a book about baseball is something that I'm just incredibly passionate about. I love the game. And for me, it just was just very, very easy. And it took some time, though. There were times, to sit around and behind that computer just typing away, knowing that the Cubs game was on WGN at, 1:20, and so I had to turn off the Cubs game and go back to the desk and keep writing. And
that discipline.
It was a challenge, but it was so worth it.
Steve Sullivan is with us. He has founded Shamrock Publishing Company. Steve, you're a native Midwesterner educated in Southern California.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
What part of the Midwest are you from?
Just outside of Chicago. I grew up in the Wheaton area. I graduated from St. Charles High School in Illinois, and just a big baseball fan. I mean, in Chicago, though, they've got the White Sox and the Cubs, and there's a Midwest team there, Midwest League team there. So just grew up playing baseball and being around the game, and went out to Southern California. I went to school, and we could play baseball there year-round. So it was baseball, baseball, baseball.
One of the neat things about your introduction or foreword or prelude, whatever we'd like to term it, is a story about a fellow we hope that will be visiting us in early August, Mike Sosha, the highly respected and successful manager of our parent club, the Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim, played a prominent role in your life out in Southern California.
Yes, he did. I was taking a train ride down when I was at USC going to my office in Irvine where I worked. I was doing an internship while I was in school. And I was in the train station, and, you know, it was early. It was a 5:40 train, and we were coming out of Union Station. I was just getting a cup of coffee, and I'm trying to walk onto the train, and I see a gentleman that looks familiar, but I can't place him. He's in a suit, and so I sit in the aisle across from him, in the row next to him. And as we're pulling out of Union Station, he looks up, or I look up and see him looking at Dodger Stadium, just past the Chavez Ravine up the hill. And I look at him, and I look at the stadium, and it clicks. For me, I'm like, oh. So I said to him, do you miss it? And he instantly turns and looks at me and smiles, and that started our conversation. We started talking about baseball and talking about the management of people and individuals and integrity of the game and hard work and discipline. And we had one of the most profound and impactful conversations I've ever had with anyone in my entire life. For him to be so helpful and just insightful for somebody he's never met, was just fabulous. And so when it came time for him to get off the stop for the Angel Stadium, he looks up, he's like, whoa, I got to go. And I mean, we just had that type of a conversation. And so I had the chance to meet him again on another
with your nephew.
Yes, I took my nephew to a autograph session for people who had season tickets. My friend's dad had season tickets, so we took him to the event, and I didn't think he was going to know me. I met him that one time, and so I took my nephew with me to get autographs and meet some of the Angels, and it was just a wonderful time. They couldn't have been more wonderful. But then I saw Mike Sosha, so we walked over to him, and he saw me, and he says to me, "Still taking the train?"
He remembered you.
He remembered me, and my nephew couldn't believe it. His jaw hit the floor. He was dumbfounded. He's like, how in the world? And so he said, hey, if you ever need anything else, just let me know. Just give me a call, let me know.
And he called you by your name.
Steve, yeah. He's like, hey, still taking a train, Steve? And my nephew was dumbfounded. I was dumbfounded. And that was one of the neatest things in the world.
Go ahead, Steve.
And so we were up in the seats watching the game, and around the fourth inning, my nephew ate some of my, drank most of my Coke, and we had some hot dogs, and all of a sudden starts chuckling. He's like, Uncle Steve, Mike Sosha just said if you ever need anything, give me a call. And we just started laughing. We still talk about it. I was up in Portland with the Portland Beavers that game, and doing a book signing there, and he was there. My nephew was up there. That's where they live, and he was still talking about it. And that's the impact that kindness and these superstars and these great ambassadors of the game have on people.
And you relay many of these anecdotal, real-life stories in your book, Talking Baseball Amongst Friends. Steve Sullivan's the author. We're just delighted that he's here on this beautiful Sunday, glorious afternoon. A blue sky, sun, 69-degree temperature. We're going to take a break here on the South Slope Communications Triple Play Show and be back with Steve Sullivan, our visiting author of Talking Baseball Amongst Friends. Back with Steve in a moment. This is Kernel Baseball on the Kernel Radio Network.
We're here for your communication needs. Internet service, telephone, and TV. As a cooperative telephone company, our members are owners. We make a good team. Service second to none. South Slope Cooperative Communications.
Tuna Communications Triple Play. Voice, video, and data with South Slope Cooperative in North Liberty. South Slope's lineup features everything that connects you to information. Digital wireless phones, long-distance plans, data home and business wiring, video conferencing, dial-up and high-speed internet service, fiber optic installation and termination, and digital video TV service in most areas. For all your communication needs, think South Slope. Visit them at southslope.com.
Good afternoon again, everyone. We're at Veterans Memorial Stadium. It's the South Slope Communications Triple Play Show on this gorgeous, sunny Sunday afternoon. And the author of a fascinating book entitled Talking Baseball Amongst Friends, a native of Wheaton, Illinois, a Chicago suburb, educated at USC, Steve Sullivan is in town. And Steve, I've only begun to read the book. I'll take it on our 8-game road trip starting this evening. We'll head out to Dayton, Ohio. It's one thing to want to be able to bend the ear and talk baseball with some of the biggest names in the game. It's quite another to actually have access and then be able to calm your nerves and talk baseball with them. How do you go about doing that?
Well, at first, I have to admit, it was a little overwhelming, going up into the clubhouse with some of these guys. But I guess one of the former players here, Reggie Saunders, really kind of got me used to doing it. I was at Wrigley Field talking to some of the Cardinals in interviewing for the book, and I told Reggie Saunders what I was working on, and he pulled up a chair in the clubhouse and have a seat. Let's talk baseball. And it really just surprised me to see how regular these baseball players really are, and they just are human. They just play baseball better than anybody else, and that was the difference. We had a good conversation, and then he brought over Jim Edmonds, and Jim Edmonds did the same thing, and we just talked baseball, and that was really where it started. That's where I started feeling comfortable and getting into some just great questions. Why they love the game and how the game's easily been passed from generation to generation, and what their most fantastic experience has been in the game of baseball.
It's ironic that you say that, Steve, because one of the knocks that the media makes on the modern-day player is that they really don't get a charge out of talking baseball with each other or to guests or newcomers like yourself or myself, and you found that to be far from the case.
I did, and one thing that I noticed, there's a certain cynicism in the media, and I think a lot of that is systemic from the salaries, the increasing salaries, and the different luxuries that the players are afforded. And the players aren't as close to the media. There's another book I read a long time ago by David Halberstam, The Summer of '49.
Yes.
And it talks about the relationship between the media and the players, and there was a certain sanctity there, and there was protection, and that's not there anymore. And one of the things that I noticed, the ball players aren't all that receptive to the media, the beat writers, and so I just wanted to talk with these guys and see who they really are and why they love the game.
And they opened up to you.
Yeah, because I explained to them that I'm not one of the guys from just the regular the newspaper.
Okay.
I'm going to explain I wanted to share something. I want to know why they love the game, what it is that keeps them away from their families 8 months of the season. Yeah. And, that's where it came from, that moment, what really stands out for them. And the funny thing is, there's a small little phenomenon. Every day that I talked to one of those players, they had a fantastic game. It was very, very weird. It almost became, because it went back to why they love the game, it reinvigorated them.
Yeah.
They would talk about their experiences, and they'd go out, and there was, for example, Coco Crisp, when he was at the Cleveland Indians, I talked to him before the game, and we were talking about, why he loves the game and playing in the RBI program and just what it was like to go to the major league level. That game, I think he went 3 for 3, had two diving catches. One of them was the number one web gem on SportsCenter. And when I went to talk to him and tell him good game after the game, he kind of winked at me and said, thanks. Wow. And it's because it brings them back to why they love the game. And the beat writers, I think, sometimes takes a little bit of that energy away.
Steve Sullivan, this is terrific. You'll be down on the concourse throughout this afternoon. If, unfortunately, people aren't here on this great day but are listening, very quickly, could you tell them how to look into purchasing Talking Baseball Amongst Friends? You're the author, Steve Sullivan.
Sure. You can come to my website. It's www.talkingaf, as in Talking Amongst Friends, talkingaf.com. And you can submit your own story. We're working on the second book as well. And if you've got a great baseball moment out there or something that just you want to share with the world, send it in to us. We'll work on it together, and we'll see if we can't get it in the next book. And there's a spot where you can blog with some of your friends on some of the different teams, and you can get the book, too, online there as well.
Steve, it's been a delight for you to share your time during your visit to our great city of 5 seasons. Enjoy. Maybe not only do you bring in the best out in players, but you bring the best out in the weather. We have a perfect day for you. Steve Sullivan, author of Talking Baseball Amongst Friends. thank you for being such a friend of baseball.
Oh, thank you so much for having me, and I can't imagine, being anywhere else. This is a great ballpark and a great time so far. Thank you.
Thanks to Steve Sullivan. Up next, I'll set the starting lineup. Series finale, last game of an 8-game homestand. Kernels and Timber Rattlers. We'll have it for you in just a moment, right here on the Kernel Radio Network.
Service second to none. South Slope Cooperative. We're here for your communication needs. Internet service, telephone, and TV. As a cooperative telephone company, our members are owners. We make a good team. Service second to none. South Slope Cooperative Communications.
Tuna Communications Triple Play, voice, video, and data with South Slope Cooperative in North Liberty. South Slope's lineup features everything that connects you to information. Digital wireless phones, long-distance plans, data home and business wiring, video conferencing, dial-up and high-speed internet service, fiber optic installation and termination, and digital video TV service in most areas. For all your communication needs, think South Slope. Visit them at southslope.com.
And on this beautiful, perfect Sunday afternoon, let's set the starting lineups for the Wisconsin Timber Rattlers first. The visitors have come in and knocked the Kernels off 2 out of 3 times, including an 11-inning triumph last night, 3-2. The Timber Rattlers are skippered by Jim Horner. He's only 32 years old. He's from Twin Falls, Idaho, and he was a member of the Mariner organization in their minor league system as a catcher for 9 seasons. Leading off, hitting .337, 6th highest average in the league, the shortstop, Jeffrey Dominguez. He's a switch hitter. Hitting second is the second baseman, Luis Valbuena, for Wisconsin. Their third baseman, Ron Garth, out of Nicaragua, will hit third. Batting cleanup, Mike Saunders in center field for the Timber Rattlers. The catcher will hit fifth, J.B. Tucker. Eddie Hernandez is hitting sixth. He's in right field. At first base, Brian Sabatella. Sabatella will bat seventh. Hitting eighth for the Timber Rattlers, Jairo Hernandez, the DH. And batting ninth in left field, Casey Craig. On the hill, the best pitcher on the Timber Rattlers staff, 20-year-old southpaw, Jose Escalona. He's only 5'11", 165. He has 4 wins and 1 loss in 5 starts this year. His ERA, 2.16. Southpaw Jose Escalona, the 4th straight lefty to start in this series for Wisconsin, on the hill this afternoon for his Timber Rattlers. Allen Motor Company, as always, presents the Kernel starting lineup. Now, at Allen's, the 2005 Buick LeSabre, just $199 a month, $13,890. That, along with the 2005 Buick Century, only $179 a month. You'll receive your first year's maintenance on Allen's free when you buy the 2005 Buick LeSabre, the 2005 Buick Century, or the 2006 Buick Rendezvous right now at Allen Motor Company. Allen's is open late until 9 o'clock tomorrow evening. You can visit Allen's spectacular campus, I-380 and Boyson Road, exit 25 in Hiawatha, or you can check out a virtual showroom online by logging on to Allen's website, www.allenmotor.com. The Allen Motor Company Kernel starting lineup, leading off in center field, Brad Kuhn. Hitting second at third base, Dallas Morris. Flint Whipke's average is a team-high .303. Flint is riding a 7-game hitting streak. He'll bat third and serve as the Kernel DH. Travis Schlichting will be at first base this afternoon and hit cleanup in the Allen Motor Company order. Batting fifth, Brett Martinez, the catcher. Marco Albano will start at second base today and hit sixth for the Kernels. Batting seventh, Madison Edwards in right field. Stantrell Smith, who took Pat Riley's place on the roster after Pat was promoted to Rancho Cucamonga a few days back. Stantrell Smith will bat eighth and be in left field. And batting ninth for the Kernels, left-handed hitting shortstop, Larry Infante. Rounding out the Allen Motor Company Kernel starting lineup, on the hill is 21-year-old right-hander, Moose Mosebach. Moose was a 9th-round pick by the Angels last year out of Hillsborough Community College. From Tampa, Moose Mosebach, a 6-0 winner already on this homestand. It was Monday night, Nurses Recognition Night. Mosebach spun 8 shutout innings, allowed only 7 hits in 8 innings, fanned 6 Silverhawks, walked only 1. Moose Mosebach, 2-0 on the year, a right-hander with a 1.52 ERA. That's the 6th lowest earned run average in the league. The Kernels are taking the field in their brilliant white home uniforms. Anderson and Brown Eye Care are proud to sponsor our umpires today. Anderson and Brown Eye Care's new location is on Boyson Road in Hiawatha. That makes it easy in and easy out. Anderson and Brown Eye Care is a full-service, comprehensive eye care center. That means you can have your eyes examined and have your glasses and contact lenses fit at Anderson and Brown Eye Care. Things are coming into focus at Anderson and Brown Eye Care on Boyson Road in Hiawatha. The Cost Cutters Dream Team members are out on the diamond, and they're being greeted by the Kernels as they're introduced out of their first base home dugout. We're going to be taking it down to the diamond itself in just a moment and welcome our national anthem singer, Jeff Wright, from Cleveland Elementary School. The Kernels are on the field signing the Cost Cutter logo soft toss baseballs. Now a message from Wendy's, and then the introduction of Cleveland Elementary School's Jeff Wright.
Today your national anthem is presented by Wendy's, always a proud supporter of the United States military. Please stand.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, to honor America, please join in the singing of our national anthem. It is being performed today by Jeff Wright from Cleveland School.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight, o'er the ramparts we watched, were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, God's bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave.
Big round of applause for Jeff Wright from Cleveland Elementary School singing the Star-Spangled Banner. The members of the Cost Cutters Dream Team are now whisking off the diamond, sprinting, trotting towards first base, and Moose Mosebach will try to help the Kernels end this homestand with a 5-3 record as he'll try to beat Wisconsin for the second time this spring. Moose tangled with his opponent this afternoon, lefty Jose Escalona, up in Appleton the day before Easter in April 15th. Moose Mosebach, let me take that back, did not beat the Timber Rattlers. He had a no decision in a Kernel 5-3 win, and in that start up in Appleton, Moose went 3 2/3, allowed 2 Wisconsin runs, none earned on 2 hits, struck out 2, walked 2. Jose Escalona, the lefty, went against Moose Mosebach and was the loser on April 15th up in Appleton. The only loss that Escalona has on his 4-1 ledger, and Escalona went 4 2/3 against the Kernels, surrendered 3 runs on 6 hits, fanned 3 and walked 4. A Kernel newcomer in left field is Santrell Smith, Brad Coons in center, and in right, Madison Edwards. On the infield, Dallas Morris at third, Larry Infantes the shortstop, Marco Albano at second, and Travis Schlichting at first, a battery of Mosebach and Brett Martinez. It's the top of the hour and 69 degrees here at Veterans Memorial Stadium. We want to thank you for tuning in on ESPN Radio 1600, KCRG, Cedar Rapids. We have one group here this afternoon. They had a pregame picnic, the Mount Mercy Student Ambassadors. And out on the Westdale Mall Mix 96.5 FM Whirling Waters Home Run Hot Tub, we have a big family, the family of John Walton. The family of John Walton is on the Westdale Mall Mix 96.5 FM Whirling Waters Home Run Hot Tub. We have a very nice note from Stella Cyber, the second grade teacher at Coolidge Elementary School, thanking us for coming to Coolidge earlier this week. And that was very kind of Stella to pass this note through Ken Franz of our staff to me. Thank you, Stella, so much. It's wonderful that you would take the time to thank us for coming and promoting reading earlier this week in our 8th annual reading program. The game's first pitch is low and inside, ball one, to switch-hitting Jeffrey Dominguez. And we're underway on this lovely Sunday afternoon. Couldn't ask for a more perfect afternoon for baseball. There's ball two low to the switch hitter. 337 hitter, no homers, 7 RBIs. Dominguez is 6th in the league with that 337 average. Mosebach 2-0. Over but low, ball 3. Well, the scoreboard says 2-0, so I'll hope the scoreboard's correct and not myself. Dallas Morris is playing well off the line at third and in on the grass. Now a strike from Mosebach. Moose coming off that 8-inning shutout performance Monday night here on the homestand against South Bend. The Kernels were 6-0 winners. Dominguez powders one hard through the right side of the Kernel infield. Over to get it Madison Edwards, and Jeffrey Dominguez lines a base hit into right to start this afternoon's action. Jeffrey adds to his 337 average. He was 2 for 5 last night. He scored in the 8th inning to put Wisconsin ahead 2-1. The Kernels answered and tied it in the lower half of the 8th, only to bow to the Timber Rattlers in the 11th inning, 3-2. Luis Valbuena, 0 for 3 last night, walked his last 2 trips up. Waits a throw to first, and Travis Schlichting puts the tag down on Dominguez, and the Kernels thought they had Jeffrey picked off. Now the left-handed batter Valbuena steps out. Luis wears his Timber Rattler black socks up high. Wisconsin wearing black batting helmets. A throw to first, and again, Dominguez has to dive back in hand first. Dallas Morris is creeping in on the grass at third. It's Infante at short, Albano at second, and Travis Schlichting at first. A new look infield for the Kernels as Luis Valbuena takes low, ball 1. Stan Trell Smith in left field. He played for the Orem Owls Pioneer Championship team a year ago. Kuhn in center, Edwards in right. And now Moose fires high and away, ball 2. So Mosebach has been off the plate a bit here in the first half inning. Good-sized crowd, as you would expect on this gorgeous Sunday afternoon. We're delighted that you're with us and look forward to bringing you a full afternoon of entertainment and baseball. Dominguez not running, and a pitch whistled foul straight back by Valbuena. Luis is hitting .224. No homers, 11 RBIs. The Kernels have played Wisconsin 6 times already this spring, sweeping the Timber Rattlers up in Appleton before Easter, then winning here Thursday night in the series opener 6-2, but dropping an 8-6 decision Friday night. Here's a throw to first, and again, the Wisconsin leadoff batter just got back in time. Jeffrey Dominguez has 4 steals and 7 tries, and Mosebach throws over again, and again, Jeffrey with a hand-first reach beat the tag by Travis Schlichting. Luis Valbuena stands straight up at the plate, left-handed batter. Another throw to first, and again, Dominguez gets back safely. Brad Kuhn is shifted way around into left center field on this picture-perfect sunny Sunday afternoon. A fastball down and into the batter, ball 3. Luis Valbuena, 2 for 11 in this series. He's only 20 years old, from Venezuela. There goes Dominguez. Ball 4 upstairs. And a shaky start for right-hander Moose Mosebach, coming off his 8 shutout innings here Monday night. He's allowed a single, and he walks Valbuena. His 3-1 pitch was upstairs, and Brett Martinez hustles out to the mound to have a word, puts his arm on the shoulder of the Colonel right-hander.
The batter, number 5, third baseman.
Now, if you're Jim Horner, the manager of the Timber Rattlers, what do you do with your number 3 hitter, Ron Garth? Do you have him bunt the runners, try to bunt them over to second and third? Or do you have Garth swing away, risking a double play? Ron is a .256 batter. Mosebach whirls, throws to the shortstop, Larry Infante, and the Kernels again thought they had Jeffrey Dominguez picked off. Ron Garth was hit by a pitch in the first inning last night by Stephen Merrick. Then he grounded out in the 8th, and that ground out drove in a run to put Wisconsin ahead 2-1. First pitch is upstairs, ball 1 to Ron Garth, the fastball. And Moose Mosebach is on shaky ground here in the top of the first inning. Dominguez at second, Valbuena at first. A line drive, base hit into left, charging it is Santrell Smith, his throw home, cut off. Dallas Morris has the ball and slips, the runner trying to go back to third. Dallas tags him out, throw to second, that runner out! Incredible double play, turned by the Kernels, all because Santrell Smith hit the cutoff man, Dallas Morris. And Jeffrey Dominguez rounded third. He got in a self-imposed pickle. Dallas Morris himself slipped halfway down the third base line. You can still see where the dirt is carved out from Dallas's spikes. And then the runner, Dominguez, tried to scramble back to third. Dallas Morris ran him back towards the bag, then tagged him out, and then Dallas whipped the throw to the second baseman, Marco Albano, and one of the most unorthodox double plays you'll ever see. Ron Garth lined a single into left, on which the Kernels turned a double play. And I'll give you the scoring on it in a moment. Well, I'll give it to you now. 7-5-4. Credit Ron Garth with a base hit. But it winds up being a double play as Stan Strell Smith threw to the cutoff man, Morris, who tagged out Dominguez, then threw to second, and Valbuena was tagged out. Now a broken bat looper headed into right center. This is trouble. It falls. On to third goes Ron Garth, and it's first and third, 2 out. Mike Saunders broke his bat, and he was able to dump a base hit over the head of Marco Albano in front of Brad Kuhn in center. And that's the third hit of the inning for Wisconsin, yet they haven't scored yet. Now J.B. Tucker will bat after that most unusual double play. J.B. Tucker is the number 5 hitter, batting .254, 4 home runs, 12 RBIs. Again, the double play went Stan Trell Smith into Dallas Morris, then to Marco Albano. And now Wisconsin has runners at first and third with 2 away. Can the Colonel right-hander Moose Mosebach get out of this jam? Tucker takes a fastball just high. So far, the plate umpire is not giving the Colonel right-hander anything. Hey, we see a friend of ours down below. Desiree and Fabrice Massey are waving up here. It's great to have Desiree and Fabrice down right behind home plate. And there's their cousins. They're also here this afternoon. They're enjoying the game from premier seats 6 rows behind home plate. We're also looking for Dr. Michael Lomax, and we have spotted Dr. Lomax. He's down below. And great, he brought all 8 of his friends with him. Everything, wow, that is great to see Dr. Lomax and our 2 friends, Fabrice and Desiree, down below. Now a 1-0 count and a pitch low and away as Moose Mosebach's falling behind J.B. Tucker. 2 balls, no strikes. Well, this is a far cry from what Moose was able to do Monday night as he owned the Silverhawks. Here's a bouncer to second. Albano reaches up, snares it, and underhands to the shortstop, Larry Infante, and that's a 4-6 inning-ending put-out. No runs for Wisconsin. You're not going to believe this. No runs on 3 hits, a walk, no Kernel errors, a double play. The Timber Rattlers leave a pair. Let's hope that gives the Kernels a big boost as they head into their home first base dugout. After 1/2 inning, Wisconsin nothing, the Kernels coming to the plate. And you're enjoying Kernel Baseball on the Kernel Radio Network.
Fairfax State Savings Bank is paying you to come to the ballpark every Wednesday this season. You heard right. Fairfax State Savings Bank is paying you to come to Veterans Memorial Stadium every Wednesday this season. The first 750 of you Kernel fans to enter the gates before Wednesday's home game will receive an envelope full of money inside from Fairfax State Savings Bank. Each of those 750 envelopes will contain a greenback up to a $100 bill. Fairfax State Savings Bank, free money Wednesdays. Come early to line your pocket with cash.
Meet Jim. Well, it's nice how he spends weekends in his yard trying to kill weeds.
Gotcha.
Meet Dave. He spends weekends on the green. That's because Greg's Lawn Service takes care of his lawn. Mowing, fertilizing, pruning, and, yep, weed control. Greg's does the big jobs, too. Landscaping, retaining walls, curb edging, and patios. So when you've had enough of those little devils...
Aha! Yes!
Call 393-0101. Greg's Lawn Service, a cut above the rest.
Hi, I'm Tanya Sedlock, your local Pekin insurance agent at Andrews Insurance here in Cedar Rapids. We all know how quickly life can change. You buy a new car or a new home. Your family is blessed with a new baby. Your teenager starts driving the family car. I'm here to help with a complete line of insurance plans to give you protection when you need it the most. Pekin Insurance has been in business of insuring people for 85 years. I'm here to put your interests first. Please visit me, Tanya Sedlock, at the Andrews Agency.
Well, the Kernels may have avoided a big inning in the Wisconsin first. They got a leadoff single from Jeffrey Dominguez. Then Luis Valbuena walked. Ron Garth then singled into left. Stan Terrell Smith, the Kernel newcomer, hit the cutoff man, Dallas Morris. Morris tagged out Jeffrey Dominguez, who made too wide a turn around third. Then a throw to second by Dallas Morris caught Luis Valbuena rounding that bag. The double play went 7-5-4. A single followed from Mike Saunders that sent Garth to third, and on a 2-0 count, J.B. Tucker wrapped into a second base to shortstop force out. Now Brad Kuhn looks at a fastball for a strike called at the letters from lefty 4-game winner Jose Escalona. Escalona wearing a long sleeve shirt underneath his gray road top, and he fires a fastball through the letters of Brad Kuhn. Brad swung and missed, strike 2. Brad Kuhn hitting .259, has 3 hits in this series, and is tied for third in the league with 9 stolen bases. He had 2 steals in the Kernel 11-inning loss last night. The 0-2 is low and away to Brad. Kuhn was 1 for 2 last night. He drew 3 walks, stole second base twice, and scored one of the 2 Kernel runs in the 3-2 11-inning loss. A high pop foul over the backstop behind home plate, and it's still 1 ball, 2 strikes to Brad Kuhn. Bottom of the first inning, no score. Wisconsin's outfield plays Brad straight away. Escalona's pitch is lifted in the air behind second. The wind plays havoc with it. Mike Saunders loses it in the sun. Kuhn's caught between first and second, and now he gets back to first. A wild throw by the shortstop, and after all of that, Brad Kuhn is aboard as the center fielder, Mike Saunders, lost it in the sun. That'll be an error on Mike Saunders. Kuhn, hustling that ball out, was halfway between first and second when Saunders had it conk off his head. It hit right off the top of his maroon cap in straightaway shallow center. Brad Kuhn was in no man's land between first and second, hustling all the way, and then he would have been a goner after the ball hit. It actually hit Saunders in the left shoulder. The left fielder Casey Craig threw to the shortstop Dominguez. Dominguez's throw to first baseman Brian Sabatella flicked off Sabatella's mitt, and now it looks like we're going to have a pinch runner for Brad Kuhn. Apparently Brad not hustling to the satisfaction of Bobby Magallanes. Bobby thought he should have been at second base, so Jordan Renz will come on and run for Brad Kuhn. Boy, the Kernels are learning some hard lessons trying to learn this game of professional baseball. I don't think Brad was shaken up. I just don't think Bobby Magallanes was pleased with. Here's a deep drive to left by Dallas Morris. It's at the Whirling Waters home run hot tub. It should be a home run. It's off the top of the wall. That should be a home run. That should be a home run. It is a home run. It hit the Westdale Mall Mix 96.5 FM Whirling Waters home run hot tub sign. A two-run blast by Dallas Morris, and it's 2-0 Kernels here in the bottom of the first inning. 2-0 Kernels here in the bottom of the first inning. The pinch runner, Jordan Renz, scores ahead of Dallas Morris' second home run of the year. It hit the sign above the 8-foot-high green padded wall. You could hear it clunk against the plywood. Then it dropped down at the feet of Casey Craig. And at first, the base umpire said that ball was in play. But it's a two-run homer. And a strike is into Flint Whipke, a two-run blast. Following the error on the center fielder, Dallas Morris belts a two-run homer off the Westdale Mall, Mix 96.5 FM, Whirling Waters home run hot tub. The sign is nestled right between the hot tub deck and the wall. That's where Dallas Morris hit it. Jordan Renz had come on to pinch run for Brad Kuhn. Now Flint Whipke fouls one away to the right. He strokes a little Texas League looper outside first, and with his glasses down, Brian Sabatella has it. Sabatella catches Flint Whipke's foul pop for the first out here in the Kernel first inning. That home run by Dallas Morris puts the Kernels ahead 2-0, and it's another $25 from PRC's Community Care to the Haycap Food Reservoir and PRC's season-long Home Runs for the Hungry campaign. PRC's Community Care, the former Access Direct here in Cedar Rapids, has now donated $350 to the Haycap Food Reservoir to help feed the hungry in our community. Travis Schlichting took a ball low, and now a strike at the knees from Jose Escalona. 2-0 Kernels here in the bottom of the first inning. Schlichting, the cleanup batter, lifts one into right center. Coming on is Eddie Hernandez, now the second baseman backpedaling. 35 feet out into the grass in shallow right, has it. Luis Valbuena squeezes the high pop-up off the bat of Travis Schlichting. 2 away here in the Kernel first inning. 2-0 Kernels. We'll have a change for the Kernels defensively in the second inning. I believe Madison Edwards will move into center field, but we'll have to wait and see. We know that Jordan Renz will be in the outfield. Here's a home run cut by Brett Martinez, a swing and a miss, strike one. I think what Bobby Magallanes thought is that if Brad Kuhn sprinted out of the batter's box and sprinted around first base, he would have been at second rather than running for his life to get back to first on that ball muffed in center by Mike Saunders. Strike two call to the right-handed hitter, Brett Martinez. Bases empty, 2 gone here in the home half of the first inning. Brett swings at a high fastball and misses, strike 3. For the Kernels in the first, 2 runs on 1 hit, a 2-run blast by Dallas Morris, 1 Wisconsin air, and the Kernels leave the bases empty. And after 1 on this beautiful sunny Sunday afternoon, the Kernels lead Wisconsin 2-0. You're tuned to Kernel Baseball here on the Kernel Radio Network.
There's a lot you can do to satisfy your taste for Italian. You can marry one. Do you, Susan Smith, take Giuseppe Florentino? You can drive one. Or you can go to Zio Giano's and feast on Zio's homemade bread, pizzas, and pasta, authentically prepared to Zio Giano's famous Italian style. Zio Giano's for the hometown taste of Italy.
Come to Zio Giano's, the pasta makes you Zio. Come to Zio Giano's for real Italiano. Come to Zio Giano's, the pasta.
What do I get at Cost Cutters? Hey, my hair is my trademark. I gotta be able to count on a good cut and stuff to keep my hair looking thick, even if it's not.
I get a good cut, no long wait, a smile, and a little something left over in my wallet.
I get little trims that keep my hair long and healthy, and stuff to make it loose and curly one day, straight and sassy the next.
With expert stylists trained in the latest trends and techniques and your favorite professional styling and hair care products, you'll always get what you're looking for at Cost Cutters. At Cost Cutters, you can always count on convenient, affordable, professional care and products that help you create just the style you want. At Cost Cutters, you'll always get a little more.
What do I get at Cost Cutters? A slick, clean cut, great highlights, and a little wig from the hottest stylist I've ever seen.
More of what you're looking for. Just yourself.
Well, we do have defensive changes here in the second inning. Brad Kuhn was lifted after reaching on an error by the center fielder Mike Saunders. Jordan Renz came in and pitch ran for Brad. Jordan takes over in right field, and the right fielder, Madison Edwards, is now in center field, I believe. Yes. Madison Edwards is in center field. Jordan Renz in right. Here in the second inning, 2-0 Kernels after Brad Kuhn reached on an error by the center fielder. He was lifted. Not sure if he's hurt or if Bobby Magallanes had to teach him a painful lesson about hustling out of that batter's box. Jordan Renz took over as the pinch runner at first and scored on Dallas Morris's 2-run home run just below the Westdale Mall Mix 96.5 FM Whirling Waters home run hot tub in left. Eddie Hernandez takes a ball high, and now a strike, a fastball from Moose Mosebach. Eddie's a left-handed hitter with a 196 average, no home runs, 9 RBIs. Open stance. And a swing and a foul off the mask of catcher Brett Martinez. Eddie Hernandez, nothing for 5 last night. The left-handed hitter's batting 196. No homers, 9 RBIs. Top of the second, and it's 2-0 Kernels. Hernandez, an open stance. Swings at a Moose Mosebach slider down and in, and he didn't get it. That's Moose's first strikeout of the afternoon. Well, thanks to Colonel Director of Media Relations Todd Brummelkamp, we can keep you up to speed on how former Colonels are doing in the Angel organization. Halo happenings at AAA Salt Lake. Dallas McPherson, 2 for 4 with a home run, is 9th, but not enough as Tacoma shaded Salt Lake 5-4 in Pacific Coast League play last night. Dallas McPherson has 9 home runs, and hopefully he'll get another chance to impress Mike Scioscia and his big league staff later this summer. A ground ball hit sharply to second. Marco Albano gliding quickly to his right has it and throws in time to get Brian Sabatella, the right-handed batter. Sabatella grounds out to second. 2 away here in the Wisconsin second inning, and the batter's Jairo Hernandez. At AA Arkansas, the game between the Travelers and Missions in Little Rock was rained out. Jesse Smith will take his turn on the hill tonight for the Arkansas Travelers. Rancho Cucamonga's a game above 500 as Moose Mosebach pushes Jairo Hernandez off the plate, ball 1 inside. Rancho Cucamonga stopped Bakersfield 8-2 last night. A high pop foul. This one drifts about 5 rows up into the premier seats down below. Fernando Rodriguez Jr., Submariner Kevin Lynch, lefty Joe Torres, and Kevin Jepson. They combined to limit Bakersfield to only 4 hits Fernando Rodriguez Jr. upped his record to 3-2. Former Colonel catcher Ben Johnson went 4 for 5 and drove in 4 runs for the Quakes. There's a strike on the outside corner to Hernandez. Now Jairo takes a changeup low and away for ball 2. 2-0 Kernels on the strength of an error and a 2-run blast by Dallas Morris in the home half of the first inning. Wisconsin batting with 2 away, bases empty in their second inning. Mosebach winds and fires. A slider swung on and missed. Strike 3. Jairo Hernandez waved at a breaking pitch down and away. And what do you want from your pitcher after your mate scored 2 runs in the half inning ahead of the one he's pitching? You want him to blank the opposition and do so quickly. That's what Moose Mosebach did to the Timber Rattlers. And after an inning and a half this afternoon, the Kernels up on Wisconsin 2-0. You're tuned to Kernel Baseball here on the Kernel Radio Network.
With spring comes a sound we're all familiar with, lawnmowers. The Solid Waste and Recycling Department encourages you to mulch your grass this year, though, instead of bag. It's a practice known as grass cycling. Why grass cycling? Well, it saves time because you don't have to rake or bag your grass clippings. But it also saves money because those clippings contain essential nutrients, reducing your need for expensive fertilizers. Best of all, grass cycling helps to save landfill space. Do your part. Grass cycle. This message from the Solid Waste and Recycling Department.
Mother's Day is 2 weeks or 1 week from today. 1 week from today, and with that urgent message, Peck's Flower and Garden Shop would like to serve you and bring a Mother's Day smile to your mom. Peck's can deliver your Mother's Day gift of flowers or plants anywhere. Choose from one of Peck's many thoughtful fresh flower bouquets and growing plant arrangements. Peck's is your professional FTD and Teleflora florist. They can deliver your Mother's Day gift, no matter where Mom is. And your mom will be delighted when she receives flowers or plants from Peck's. Order early now. It's 1 week away. While you're thinking about it, it's easy. Call Peck's at 393-5565. They're open until 8 o'clock on weeknights, 5 o'clock on weekends, including this afternoon. Peck's Flower and Garden Shop. They've been delivering Mother's Day joy since 1956 from their beautiful location at the corner of Blair's Ferry and Edgewood Road Northeast. That is a very, very important thing to put at the top of your mind. Mother's Day is a week from today. Leading off for the Kernels, Marco Albano, and he takes strike 1 called. Marco hitting .217. No homers, 2 RBIs for Albano. Albano, a right-handed batter, swings at a good changeup from Jose Escalona, strike 1. Strike 2, rather. Marco in the hole, no balls, 2 strikes. We're just underway in the bottom of the second on a perfect afternoon for our national pastime. Swing and a miss on a slider down and in. Marco Albano fans, and that's 4 in a row, retired by lefty Jose Escalona. Escalona's last start was a win. Game 2 of a twin bill up in Appleton Monday night. Escalona, the lefty from Venezuela, was a 4-3 winner over the West Michigan Whitecaps. He pitched 5 1/3 innings and gave West Michigan just 1 run on 4 hits. Struck out 4, walked 1. Madison Edwards, who took over in left field in the series opener here Thursday night, has not played since, takes strike 1 on the inside corner. Madison, a left-handed batter. And a sharp curve just inside from the 5' 10" lefty, who stands way over on the left side of the rubber as we look down to the hill. Breaking pitch, swing and a miss by Madison. He's in the hole 1-2. Casey Craig's in left for Wisconsin. Mike Saunders in center, and the right fielder's Eddie Hernandez. Timber Rattlers are a 9-5 team on the road. 5-10 at home. Madison Edwards spanks a ground ball to the left side, and it's in the mitt and kicked out of the glove of third baseman Ron Garth. That'll be a tough call for the official scorer, Al Gruwell. A lot of times at home, they'll give the batter a hit. I would say I'd rule that an error, but I would also understand if Al Gruwell ruled it a base hit. The only reason I'd rule it an error is Garth, yes, did have to go far to his left, but he did have ample opportunity to field that ball cleanly. But I'll give my 2 cents worth. I can sure understand if Al Gruwell rules it a base hit as well. Tough call for the official score. A slider down and in, ball 1 to Stan Strell Smith, the Colonel newcomer. Stan Strell, a right-handed hitter, batting with the leadoff man aboard here the Madison Edwards aboard with 1 out. Stan Strell is a right-handed batter, no bend in his knees. And he taps a pitch foul right off his foot. It rolls 2/3 of the way to the mound where Escalona exchanges it with the plate umpire. I don't blame Al Gruwell for thinking long and hard about how to rule on that ground ball to the left side by Madison Edwards. I've given my 2 cents worth. I would rule it an error, but I can sure understand how they could rule it a hit. And Al has ruled it an error. And that's one of those calls, he'll hear it from both sides because it was not an easy judgment by the official scorer. Swing and a miss by Smith and a snap throw to first. Madison Edwards just got back hand first. A changeup had Stan Strell Smith way out in front. Strike 2 swinging. So Madison Edwards reaches on an error, the 7th of the season committed at third by Ron Garth. 2 errors on the Timber Rattlers already. 2-0 Kernels. Bottom of the second. Breaking pitch, and Smith fouls it towards the first base stands. There's a play, and what a play by the catcher, J.B. Tucker. Tucker leaned into the screen, and Eric Hearn, a longtime season ticket holder, along with Ann Hearn, are in utter disbelief of that catch by J.B. Tucker. In fact, Tucker almost fell into the lap of Ann Hearn. Ann's all right. She's waving up here. Paul Fugate, the son of Donna Wood, was also sitting right there, along with Bob Teague, John's dad. And Stan Strell Smith has fouled out to the catcher, who leaned into the net and caught that foul pop. 2 gone for Larry Infante. A throw to first, and Edwards returns safely. So Stan Strell Smith, in his Colonel debut, has fouled out to J.B. Tucker, the Timber Rattler catcher, who made some play leaning into the backstop itself, thrusting his right arm out to have that cushion effect. Infante takes high, ball 1. Larry hasn't played since Tuesday night on this homestand in a Colonel loss to South Bend. Larry was 0 for 2 and walked twice. Infante's a 21-year-old left-handed hitting middle infielder for the Kernels, batting with Madison Edwards at first. There goes Madison. A curve high. The throw by Tucker sails past the shortstop. It was caught behind second by Luis Valbuena. And then Madison Edwards has his 3rd stolen base of the season. Madison slid in feet first ahead of the peg by J.B. Tucker. And now an RBI chance for Larry Infante. I wonder if Larry Infante has faced Escalona before. They're both from Venezuela. Here's the 2-0 to the Colonel number 9 hitter. It's a breaking pitch at the knees for strike 1. Fastball is chopped up the middle, and it's backhanded by Valbuena. He throws out Larry Infante. Luis Valbuena made a terrific play to his left. The ball catapulted high as it hit the lip of the infield where the grass meets the dirt, and Valbuena took the 2-hop chopper, backhanded it up the middle, and had enough on his throw, plenty to get Larry Infante. No runs in the second for the Kernels, no hits, 1 Wisconsin error, a stolen base, and the Kernels leave 1 man aboard, our first stranded on the afternoon. Colonel right-hander Moose Mosebach back to the hill. He's twirled 10 shutout innings on this homestand. As we head to the third, the Kernels lead Wisconsin 2-0. You're enjoying Kernel Baseball on the Kernel Radio Network.
Diet Pepsi is taking you to the movies. All kinds of movies, like horror films.
Hey, there's a guy with a hockey mask outside. Let's go see what he wants. Okay.
Sci-fi films.
Gentlemen, we're in luck. Those aliens speak American.
Kung fu movies.
Your English voiceover looks terrible. Taste my nunchucks.
Teen flicks.
I am so ugly. Well, you'd be hot if you ditched your glasses and your nerdy side ponytail. Oh my gosh, I am hot.
Foreign films.
Le French fries, the French toast. Baguette, le poulet. Le croissant.
Crime films.
So, did you find anything?
Only this computer disc labeled totally incriminating evidence.
Well, keep looking.
Introducing the Diet Pepsi box office promotion. Find a code in specially marked Diet Pepsi packages. Collect and enter codes at dietpepsiboxoffice.com to redeem for a movie ticket, even to action movies.
Well, bad guy's dead. I'll just turn my back.
I can't believe you fell for that. Light, crisp, refreshing Diet Pepsi.
Subject to official rules, void where prohibited. N63006. Multiple purchases required. See website for redemption details.
Imagine the convenience of accomplishing your next real estate transaction under one roof. Buying a home, selling a home, or securing the right mortgage loan are simple and worry-free at Todd Financial Services. Todd Financial Services knows that you've worked hard to be able to make the dream of home ownership a reality. Todd Financial Services understands that people do business with people they trust. You can count on Todd Financial Services to put you and your needs first so that your real estate transactions are pleasurable.
Casey Craig, who came on as a pinch hitter in the ninth inning in last night's Wisconsin 11-inning victory, will lead off, the number 9 hitter. 0 for 2, came into the game as a pinch hitter in the ninth and stayed and played left field. Craig is a left-handed batter. And he shoots one high and deep to left, sending Smith back at the wall, and it's over Stantrell's head. Stantrell Smith gets it back in. It's a stand-up double for Casey Craig. Man, has he murdered Kernel pitching in this series. Casey Craig now has his fourth hit of the series, and it's his third extra base hit. Casey Craig belting one over the head of the left fielder, Stantrell Smith. So Wisconsin has their leadoff man aboard. That ball hit well, high and deep to left. Smith went back, reached up, but could not get a glove on it. Here's Jeffrey Dominguez trying to bunt his way on, and he bunts foul. That one may have struck the hand of Brett Martinez. Yes, the plate umpire will wipe off the dish to try to give Brett some time to recover. We have one final, and it's not the news we were hoping for from Rogers Center in Toronto. The Blue Jays flew past the Angels 3-1. How can a Blue Jay fly higher than an Angel? Well, that's what happened this afternoon in Toronto, 3-1 Toronto. A ground ball foul pulled past first by the switch hitter Jeffrey Dominguez. 2-0 Kernels, but Wisconsin has a runner at second with nobody out here in the third inning. The State Farm Major League Scoreboard brought to you by State Farm Insurance agents Al Shetler, Dale Thompson, Brad Dunn, and Gary Shubat. The Angels bowed to the Blue Jays in Toronto this afternoon, 3-1. Dominguez on a 1-1 pitch takes it high and away. Boy, I thought that first pitch was a strike, and I think that's what the plate umpire is saying. 1 ball, 2 strikes, yes. Robert Moose Mosebach, slender, trim right-hander, comes set, delivers a sinker, a swing and a miss, throw to second, out! Another dazzling double play, turned by the Kernels! Wow! Dominguez struck out, Brett Martinez pegged down to the shortstop, Larry Infante, and Casey Craig was a goner, picked off second base. That's another highly unusual, unorthodox double play. A line smash into left. Smith is there, and Stantrell has it. Luis Valbuena lines to left, and that does it for Wisconsin in the third inning. The Kernels have played heads up, smart defense, and as a result, they prevented the Timber Rattlers from cashing in on 2 golden scoring chances today. In the third inning, no runs for Wisconsin. 1 hit, a leadoff double. There were no Kernel errors. a double play, the second turn by the Kernels during this young afternoon, and nobody left by the Timber Rattlers. After 2.5, it's the Kernels leading the Timber Rattlers 2-0. This is Kernel Baseball on the Kernel Radio Network.
Don't you wonder sometimes how all those companies who claim to be the best can actually be the best? Doesn't just one of them have to be the best? When it comes to motor coach travel, Tri-State Travel is the best. We have the highest safety rating, the largest variety of coaches, a trained driving staff, and 66 years of experience. Don't you want to travel with the best? That would be Tri-State Travel, now at our new location on 7th Street Southwest.
Hi, this is John Rogers, the voice of the Kernels. I'd like to share a few words with you about Kernel team physician, orthopedic surgeon Dr. David Terse. My father was a surgeon, and like most sons, I looked up to him as the greatest dad and the best doctor on earth. When I was diagnosed with a torn meniscus in my right knee recently, I wondered if my doctor here in Cedar Rapids would measure up to my dad's standards. My doctor was Dr. David Terse. Dr. Terse's thorough and expert explanation of my x-ray, his calm and reassuring description of the procedure he will be performing, and his kind and confident bedside manner impressed me beyond my expectations. Dr. Terse has those exceptional qualities we all hope to find in our doctor: an established reputation of excellence, the ability to communicate with us so that we understand and trust his words, and that gut feeling that he truly cares about us. Dr. Terse is a world-class surgeon and a first-class person. I've experienced firsthand why the Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim, the Kernels' parent ball club, has entrusted Dr. Terse to care for our players.
The leadoff batter, Jordan Renz, will face Jose Escalona for the first time this afternoon. Jordan came on to pinch run for Brad Kuhn after Brad reached on an error, a ball lost in the sun by Mike Saunders in center. And Escalona gets his curveball over for strike one. Bottom of the third inning. 2-0 in favor of the Kernels. And Renz holds up, did he? Yes, according to the base umpire, who's perched about 50 feet directly beyond first base, straddling the first base right field foul line. 1-1 to Jordan. Towering pop foul down the left field line. Ron Garth, the third baseman, climbs the mound, and it drops. Neither Casey Craig, the left fielder, the shortstop Jeffrey Dominguez, or Ron Garth could get to that high pop foul. Strike two on Jordan Renz. We have more scores for you on the State Farm Major League scoreboard. They're in the bottom of the eighth at RFK Stadium. The Nationals lead the Pirates 5-4. The Cardinals are harpooning the Marlins in the top of the eighth inning at Dolphin Stadium 7-1. Atlanta dismantling the Mets this afternoon at Shea, 13-1 Braves. They're in the top of the seventh. Houston leads at Denver, in Denver, over the Rockies 1-0. That's in the top of the third inning. The 1-2 to Jordan. Curve, and it's grounded sharply on two hops to Jeffrey Dominguez. The shortstop guns across the diamond to get Jordan Renz for the first out here in the Kernel third inning. Jordan Renz, batting for the first time, has wrapped out to short. Jordan hitless in this series now. 0 for 11. Dallas Morris socked a two-run homer with Jordan Renz, the pinch runner, aboard at first in the Kernel first inning, and those two runs have held up so far. At Fenway Park, the Red Sox lead the Orioles in the fifth inning, 6-2. The White Sox and Royals at U.S. Cellular Field are tied 2-2 in the bottom of the sixth. The Yankees trouncing Texas at Ameriquest Field in Arlington, 6-1, top of the fifth inning. Morris has taken a pitch outside, now a delivery high, 2-0. At the Metrodome, how'd you like to be playing indoors today? I'm sure it's lovely in the Twin Cities, but the Twins are playing in that facility, and they're blanking Detroit 4-0 in the bottom of the sixth inning. Strike one called on the outside edge to Dallas Morris. Later this afternoon, Cleveland takes on the Mariners at Safeco Field, and the Devil Rays in Oakland will clash at the Coliseum. Ball three in the dirt to Dallas Morris. The Cubs will play the Padres later on this afternoon. The Brewers and the Dodgers play at Chavez Ravine. Arizona will entertain the Reds. A high drive into deep right. Hernandez going back, and it's over his head. One hops the wall. Dallas Morris is speeding around second. He'll try for third. No relay throw made, and it's a one-out triple over Eddie Hernandez's head by Dallas Morris. Dallas Morris has clubbed a triple over the head of the right fielder, Eddie Hernandez. And now Flint Whipkey will have a chance to add to the Colonel 2-0 lead here in the bottom of the third inning. Boy, did Dallas Morris ever get into that one. He laced it over the head of the right fielder, Eddie Hernandez, to the right of the 390 mark. Hernandez hit Luis Valbuena, the cutoff man, but all the second baseman could do was hold on to it as Dallas sped into third with a one-out stand-up triple. And now Flint Whipkey, one of the hottest Colonel hitters, he's hit safely in all 7 of these games at home, stands in. The right-handed hitting DH takes low and in, ball 1. J.B. Tucker smothered that breaking pitch in the dirt to prevent a wild pitch and to keep Dallas Morris from scoring. Dallas Morris, 2 for 2 this afternoon, is at third with only one out here in the bottom half of the third inning. There's an Uncle Charlie for a strike call to Whipkey. Garth at third and Sabatella at first for Wisconsin could come home. Dominguez and Valbuena are playing back up the middle. Whipkey tips a changeup foul behind the plate. Flint's in the hole, 1-2. Flint tied the game at 2 last night in the 8th inning with a 2-out, 2-strike run-scoring single down the left field line. It drove in Dallas Morris. Flint's trying to drive in his teammate Morris again, but he's in the hole, 1 ball, 2 strikes. Jose Escalona set at the belt. And a curve, he choked it off. It stayed high and outside. 2-2 to Flint. This is one of those early May afternoons that you wish for in the depths of the cold of February, and we've got a dandy day. Here's a base hit into center to make it 3-0 Kernels. Flint Whipkey cut his stroke down, widened his stance, and looped it into straightaway center. He's hit safely in all 8 games on this homestand, and he drives home Dallas Morris from third. It's his 10th RBI of the season. Flint Whipkey makes it 3-0 Kernels here in the bottom of the third inning. Flint waited on that changeup and drove it in the air into shallow center. Dallas Morris trots home to make it 3-0 Kernels. Now Travis Schlichting, who popped up to second his first time up, will bat for the second time. Travis, a .255 hitter. 2 home runs, 5 RBIs for Travis Schlichting. Now a changeup is down and in. One and 0 to Travis Schlichting. Short lead at first for Flint Whipkey. The Kernels lead the league with 42 stolen bases in 29 games. There's strike 2 called on the outside edge. That was some pitch by the lefty, 4-game winner, Jose Escalona. Strike 3 called, I think. The plate umpire hasn't indicated yet. No, he rules that pitch a ball. A throw down to first, and Whipkey just got back. Boy, the plate umpire really threw me for a loop. He never called that pitch. At least I couldn't see or hear any indication of what it was. Now the count 2-1 according to the scoreboard in right center. There goes Flint. A pitch behind the batter Schlichting, a wild pitch, and Flint Whipkey's at second with only 1 out. I'll wait for Al Gruwell to tell us if that's a stolen base for Whipke or a wild pitch. It went behind Travis Schlichting's calves. It's a stolen base for Flint. Flint Whipke at second, and the Kernels have their second stolen base in as many innings, trying to add to an early 3-0 lead. Schlichting takes outside, ball 4. What a great at-bat for the Kernel cleanup batter. Travis Schlichting, very patient, good discipline, walks, now 2 on, 1 out for Brett Martinez. And I wouldn't be surprised at all if Bobby Magallanes puts the hit and run on. Brett Martinez is really in the midst of a tailspin at the plate, and oftentimes when a guy's struggling, Bobby will put the hit and run on. He may have Whipke, who's at second, and Schlichting at first, run on this first pitch to Brett Martinez. The walk by Escalona, Jose's first of the afternoon. Brett Martinez at the plate. And the runners weren't going. Brett pounds one foul off the sweets directly behind home plate. And a youngster grabs it and is happy about it. That's a lifetime honorary Colonel contract and a free spaghetti dinner at Zio Giano's to that youngster. And there's our great staff right on it to give him his lifetime honorary Colonel contract and his free spaghetti dinner to Zio Giano's. That is wonderful to see that young man receive that parched diploma-like honorary lifetime Colonel contract. Brett took high, now a changeup, a strike, a throw whipped down to first by J.B. Tucker, the Timber Rattler catcher, but that didn't catch Schlichting off guard. Travis slid back safely. And you should see the look on that kid's face getting that lifetime honorary Colonel contract and that free spaghetti dinner from Zio Giano's. He's taken it over to his parents. He's so happy. Well, now Carla Davis is having him stay. Here's a base hit into left center. Let's see if Whipke can score. A good throw by Casey Craig could get him. The throw is offline and high. Safe at the plate. A throw to third. Travis Schlichting safe. The batter Martinez into second. It's 4-0 Kernels. 4-0 Kernels on a base hit to left by Brett Martinez. Casey Craig came up and threw high to the third base side of the plate. And not only did Whipke score on the base hit to left by Martinez, but Travis Schlichting beat J.B. Tucker's throw to third, and Brett Martinez sped into second. And it's 4-0 Kernels here in the bottom of the third inning. Well, Bobby Magallanes was not very happy with the Kernel performance and intensity the last 2 games. Friday afternoon, the Kernels battled back from a 6-1 hole and tied the game with 2 in the 7th, 1 in the 5th, 2 in the 7th, 2 in the 8th, only to lose it in the top of the 9th. Last night, the Kernels battled back with a run in the bottom of the 8th to tie the game at 2, only to see Wisconsin win it in the 11th, 3-2. Bobby very rarely has the Kernels take batting practice on Sunday, but he did this afternoon. And he was barking at the players pretty good about their approach to the game, using batting practice for the proper purpose that it's intended for, which is game preparation. And it looks like Bobby's message has sunk in so far here today. Second and third, 1 out for Marco Albano, and ball 1 low to Marco. Kirby is down below, and he'll be conducting or orchestrating our very popular new promotion, the Solid Waste and Recycling Services Shuttle Relay. And Kirby has a ground ball hit hard to second by Albano, the only play to throw out Albano by Luis Valbuena. And Schlichting scores a third run in this inning. Marco Albano slapped a 1-0 pitch hard, and Luis Valbuena stabbed it. The infield was in for Wisconsin. It didn't matter, though, because that hard hit smash by Albano almost took the glove off of Luis Valbuena. And Marco Albano has driven home Schlichting to make it a 5-0 Colonel lead here in the third inning. Brett Martinez advances to third. He's there with 2 out for Madison Edwards. Breaking pitch low and away, ball 1 to Madison. Yes, whatever Bobby Magallanes said or did has taken root in the mindset and approach of these Kernels here this afternoon. A 3-run third off the best pitcher Wisconsin has, lefty Jose Escalona, who fires inside, ball 2. The Kernels are trying to gain a split in this series before heading out later this evening on the Tri-State Travel Motor Coach to Dayton, Ohio for the first of 4. We'll have those games for you on our sister station, 1450 KMRY. Ball 3 low to the left-handed batter, Madison Edwards. Madison reached on an error by the third baseman Ron Garth with 1 out in the second, stole second but was stranded. 2 gone, 5-0 Kernels, bottom of the third. Brett Martinez at third, the 3-0 to Edwards. Low, ball 4. And Jose Escalona has really had a tough go of it here in the third inning. The 8th man to bat for the Kernels will be left fielder Stan Trell Smith. Nothing doing in the Wisconsin bullpen as Stan Trell Smith bats for the second time as a Colonel. Stan Trell can be a tongue twister of a name if you try to say it quickly, so I'm trying to take my time and enunciate it correctly. Stan Trell is 22 years old. He went to North Florida Community College, and he told me earlier on the homestand he's from Atlanta, Georgia. 6'4", 215, right-handed batter. Takes low and in, a ball, a throw to first, and Madison Edwards just got back safely as he took a couple of quick steps towards second and then had to hurry back to first as J.B. Tucker threw down there. 3 for the Kernels here in the bottom of the third to extend their lead to 5-0. Smith stands straight up at the plate and points his elbow back towards the screen. And he hits one hard to third. Ron Garth with a terrific play to his left to scoop, and he throws to the second baseman at the bag to force Madison Edwards. Stan Trell Smith hit it hard and wraps into an inning-ending 5-4 force out, third to second. In the third inning, the Colonels strike for 3 runs on 3 hits. There were no Wisconsin errors, and the Colonels leave 2 aboard and have stranded 3. As we head to the top of the 4th inning on this lovely picturesque Sunday afternoon, the Colonels own a 5-0 lead over Wisconsin. This is Colonel Baseball on the Colonel Radio Network.
Cedar Rapids' oldest wholesale greenhouse is also Cedar Rapids' full-service landscaping and lawn care center. Cedar Rapids Greenhouses has been serving eastern Iowans for 50 years at the corner of Johnson Avenue and Edgewood Road, behind Guppy's on the Go. Cedar Rapids Greenhouses has a full line of trees and shrubs like magnolias, maples, and lilacs. And for a limited time, buy any potted tree and Cedar Rapids Greenhouses will deliver and plant it free. If they're searching for the right beautification project, let the trained landscape designers at Cedar Rapids Greenhouses help you create a unique plan for your home. From retaining walls to ponds, waterfalls, and fountains, they'll work within your budget and taste, and they do free estimates. Lawn care, featuring mowing, fertilization, seeding, sodding, aeration, dethatching, maintenance, and cleanup, are all done with care and precision. For the highest quality and low prices, see the difference at Cedar Rapids Greenhouses, Eastern Iowa's full-service landscapers at the corner of Johnson Avenue and Edgewood Road.
Hi, I'm Phil Andrews, your local Pekin insurance agent at Andrews Insurance in Cedar Rapids. I'd like to introduce you to an easy-to-understand, affordable life insurance plan with great benefits. It's simplified issue whole life from Pekin Insurance. The plan requires no medical exam, has guaranteed rates for life, and a guaranteed cash value. Life insurance made simple and affordable from Pekin Insurance. To learn more, contact me, Phil Andrews, at Andrews Insurance.
Through 3 innings, the Kernels are blanking Wisconsin, trying to gain a split in this series with the Timber Rattlers. It's 5-0 Kernels. Just past the top of the hour, and you're enjoying Colonel Baseball right here on ESPN Radio 1600, KCRG, Cedar Rapids, Iowa. Well, when the when NASA went to work in the space program, they did some research and tried to determine what the ideal temperature was for life. And they came up with the temperature 72 degrees. And my thermometer here says 70 degrees. I have a good friend who I haven't seen since last summer, Dr. Michael Lomax, has kindly come up from that great weather down below. And there you go, Mike. Great to have you with us. And I'll tell you what, I don't know what it is, but when you come to the ballpark, we play well and you bring the best weather.
Well, I hope I can keep this streak going.
Yeah, we do too. Dr. Lomax was with us last year, of course. There's a rocket past third into the left field corner. Stantrell Smith will dig it out, and digging towards second is Ron Garth. He's 2 for 2. Well, Moose Mosebach has surrendered a leadoff double here in the top of the 4th inning, the 5th hit of the day for the visitors. Moose pitched around a leadoff double in the 3rd inning. He'll try to do the same work here in the 4th. Dr. Lomax is a professor of sports studies, very distinguished and well-known, but highly humble. And Dr. Lomax, they say the proof is in the pudding, and I've been fortunate to work with 3 outstanding young women who have been under your wing and your guidance at the university, Sonia Massey, Julia Jansen, and Luvita Hill, and you've had an impact on all 3.
Well, I appreciate you saying that. I think all I did is just redirect their efforts since they were already motivated from the beginning.
Well, that may be. Here's a broken bat grounder up the middle. Marco Albano knocks it down, throws, not in time. It'll be likely. Well, that's a tough call, Dr. Lomax. I think they're going to have to charge Marco with an error, but it just as easily could be a hit.
Indeed.
We'll see what happens. Al Gruwell's had some tough calls in the booth next door, and he has indeed charged Marco Albano with an error. Marco tried to backhand that broken bat roller up the middle and muffed it through to first, not in time to get the left-handed batter Saunders, and now Wisconsin's trying to creep right back to this game, trailing 5-0. They have their catcher up, J.B. Tucker, with runners at the corners and nobody out. Moose Mosebach will come set. At the letters, the first pitch to Tucker is wrapped foul past third. Well, Moose isn't nearly as sharp as he was here Monday night in his 8 innings of shutout baseball against South Bend. He's been roughed up a little bit here, but he's still ahead, 5-0. Runners at the corners. Nobody out for Wisconsin in the top half of the 4th inning on a beautiful Sunday afternoon. Tucker bats from a deep squat and hits one hard to left underneath the glove of Infante for a base hit. And the runner scores from third, Ron Garth. And Saunders stops at second. Had that ball been hit just a foot or two towards center field, Infante would have started a double play. But instead, it's an RBI single for J.B. Tucker. And let's see if Kernan Ronan comes out of the Kernel dugout to have a Mercy Medical Center heart-to-heart conversation with his right-hander. So far, Kernan is perched on the top step of the Kernel dugout. Well, Dr. Lomax, with your busy schedule in the spring, I'm going to guess this is your first time up to our ballpark this spring.
Yes, it is.
But I also hear, if it's true through my connections, that a curve upstairs, that you have been over to Clinton's new ballpark.
Yes, I have.
We're looking forward. I say new because they put over $3.5 million into it.
Oh, okay.
We're going there on this upcoming road trip. The Alliant Energy Field, former Riverview Stadium, a beneficiary of Vision Iowa money, one of the best things Governor Vilsack has instituted to help keep our young... A ground ball base hit into right. Let's see if Saunders will score. Yes, he will. He'll score to make it 5-2. A good throw to third. Cut off. Throw to second. And runner out! And that may cost the Timber Rattlers a big inning. Oh, what another sparkling defensive play by the Kernels as Jordan Renz did his job. He hit Dallas Morris, and it went 7-5-6, and Mike Saunders scores to make it a 5-2 game. J.B. Tucker, though, rounded second, and he was caught off guard as Renz threw to the third baseman, Dallas Morris. Morris then cut down J.B. trying to get back to second. Eddie Hernandez is credited with an RBI single to cut the Kernel lead to 5-2. Well, I'll tell you, Dr. Lomax, this has been a tough day on the base paths.
Yes, it has.
For the Timber Rattlers.
Indeed.
They've been a little bit too assertive. Now the batter is Brian Sabatella, big, strong, right-handed batter, straightaway stance, and a throw to first. Eddie Hernandez gets back. Dr. Lomax, this is your second or third year at Iowa?
I'm finishing my second year.
Finishing your second year. I hope you're starting to feel right at home in eastern Iowa, and like this is the place that you... Here's a line drive into center. On the run, Madison Edwards. Oh, brother, was that ball tagged? Yeah. Brian Sabatella ripped it into straightaway center where Madison Edwards glided effortlessly to his right and took it in, 2 away. Dr. Lomax, or I know you prefer Mike. Mike, do you feel comfortable now? Do you feel like you have some roots established here?
Well, I believe I have,
Good.
and I hope that we can even establish better roots here with the Kernels as well.
Well, we hope so, too. We're always up for that. Mm-hmm. Tell us a little bit about the contingent you have with you, because in addition to the great undergraduate teaching you do, I know you're a mentor and a top person in the minds of graduate students, and I have a feeling you may have some of them with you.
Yeah, they just finished doing a market. They were asked to do some marketing for the men's gymnastics program this year.
So this is their reward.
This is their reward for their hard work and effort there.
Here's a towering pop-up between the mound and short. Larry Infante comes on to make the play, and that ends Wisconsin's 4th inning. Timber Rattlers strike for 2 runs on 3 hits. There was 1 Kernel error. And the Timber... Well, Dr. Lomax, the governor of the state of Massachusetts is here, unbeknown to me, Mitt Romney. Now, you're not a poli-sci professor, but you keep abreast of social politics and the economy. I bet you Mitt Romney's here to see what seeds he might plant for a Republican run in Iowa.
Oh, yeah.
They like
Absolutely.
to. And you know what about Dr. Lomax about Iowa? You can't. And this is nothing against Howard Dean, because he had his foot soldiers on the ground here, but he also did a lot of his campaigning through the internet. Right. You can't win Iowa unless you look somebody square in the eye.
Absolutely.
You just can't win this state. People want to know who you are.
Participating in the caucuses is almost it's a necessity, not a luxury.
That's exactly right.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to keep it here for just a moment, Dr. Lomax. We have some leeway in our advertising log, and you mentioned the 7 guests you have with you helped with some marketing, doing some marketing study for the men's gymnastics team.
Yes.
That piques my curiosity. What were they trying to find out in their marketing?
Well, they wanted to find out what little bit of marketing that they had done was actually reaching the audience that they sought, and they were also looking for potential opportunities for future marketing promotion. So we actually had made some connections with the newspaper, did some of the basic stuff, and came up with a children's event connected with the Children's Hospital that we hope that they will make as part of their marketing. Next year, they was able to get an exhibition for the men's program during a halftime of one of the basketball games, and got the press to focus on some of their top athletes. So they really did a good job in a short period of time with just some basic marketing.
Well, I'll tell you what, you said it, a good job in a short period of time with some basic marketing. They found a target audience. They made a compelling or a good offer or message to that audience, and then they followed up. And I'm glad to hear that with Bob Bowlesby, the highly esteemed AD. Here's a drag bunt attempt by Infante, and a head-first slide by Larry, but he's thrown out by his fellow countryman, Venezuelan Jose Escalona. Larry Infante tried to bunt his way on, and had he been able to get that bunt just a bit further left of home plate, Larry would have been safe, but he's thrown out as the left-hander dug it out of the grass and then whirled and fired to first. Larry Infante's 0 for 2, but boy, did he make a great effort to bunt his way on in this 5-2 game in favor of the Kernels, bottom of the 4th inning. Dr. Michael Lomax is alongside and telling us about why he's rewarding some of his graduate students with a day at the ballpark.
Indeed.
Renz takes a ball, and now Jordan hits one off the end of the bat and fouls it high up into the screen. I know Bob Bowlesby only had so many resources at his disposal, and he'll use his great knowledge to add to the great athletic tradition at Stanford, but as a former track and cross-country coach, I'm glad to know that a Division I school is open to marketing the so-called non-revenue producing sports, Mike, because those kids work as hard or harder than the big two of football and basketball.
Oh, without question. And what I'm glad is they did able to get particularly some of their better athletes who are All-American potential some very needed recognition.
Yes.
Even if it was only in the school university itself.
And that's important. The only time you really think of gymnastics is during the Olympic years.
Yep.
And you think women's gymnastics, unfortunately. The two, too. Well, not unfortunately, but you don't think of the men on a parallel because, right, the women have more of a following among the media because of people like Kathy Rigby and some of those, Nadia Comaneci. But then we also have people like Bart Connor and those great gymnasts. It's 2-2 on Renz. He was thrust into the leadoff role unexpectedly, and he sends a can of corn into the left. It's a mile high. If it ever comes down, it did, and it was caught by Casey Craig for the second out here in the fourth inning. 2 away. Dr. Lomax, it's interesting you're here today because you shared a copy of one of your first books with me, and we have a guest here in the stadium, Steve Sullivan, talking baseball amongst friends, and his first couple of chapters are dedicated to Negro League Baseball, which one of your many areas of expertise, and it's fun to read about some of these guys, Satchel Paige and double duty Radcliffe, yes, who played both ends of a doubleheader, and Johnny Washington. We added Johnny Washington in our league last year, and I'm wondering if he might be the grandson of one of these Negro League players, but I've always loved this quote, and I'm sure you've shared it with your students. Here's a swing and a foul, and we may have a pitching change. Escalona may have hurt himself. Quickly out of the dugout is Jim Horner, and maybe he just didn't like the pitch he made to Dallas Morris. This is a quote from a guy, I grew up a big idolizing Lou Brock and Bob Gibson. I told you that, Mike, and Cool Papa Bell at some point in his career played in St. Louis, and Josh Gibson said Cool Papa Bell was so fast, and I'll let you finish the quote.
He could be in bed before he turned the lights out.
That's right. Here's a smash off the pitcher's glove to the second baseman. Valbuena tosses from shallow center. Bang, bang, play at first, and Dallas Morris just beats it out. He is a double away from the cycle today. Dallas Morris undressed Escalona with a smash back to the hill. Jose got some part of his body on it. That's why the Wisconsin trainers out talking to him. The ball then caromed behind second. Now, wait a minute. Bobby Magallanes into it was this is totally uncharacteristic, and now the bench is clear. The Kernels are defending their manager, and Tommy Cruz is trying to break it up. One of the Wisconsin players was wanting to tear into Bobby Magallanes, the Colonel manager. And you can't light a fuse under Bobby. He's one of the kindest, calmest fellas I've ever met. And now both benches, no punches have been thrown. There's not even any shoving, so cooler heads are prevailing. Mike, one of the beauties of minor league baseball in this beautiful setting, you could hear Bobby Magallanes.
I thought I did, yeah, and then all of a sudden this guy came rushing after him.
And then Tommy Cruz came out of the dugout. Bobby was born in this country, but his folks from Mexico, so he and Tommy Cruz have a lot in common. Tommy's from Puerto Rico. They both speak Spanish. Now the plate umpire thrusts his arms up in the air. I'm not sure if he's ejected Tommy Cruz or Bobby Magallanes. Bobby was barking at one of the Timber Rattler players. And first of all, why would a player ever try to get a manager riled up? That's respect. And at this level, I haven't seen that too often, a player and a manager getting after each other.
No, not at all.
Oh, brother. Thank goodness the Kernels came to the aid of their manager, standing up for Bobby. And then Bobby has a burr under his saddle today, and I'll tell you why. He was disappointed at the way the Kernels focused and their intensity in last night's 11-inning loss, and he jumbled the lineup today to send a message and basically tell the fellas, hey, you guys are professionals. Ground ball hit sharply to second. Valbuena will toss to the shortstop covering for the force out of Dallas Morris. It went 4-6. And let's see if, yes, Bobby just trots off the field, the professional that he is. Somebody tried to get under Bobby's skin from the Wisconsin dugout, and that kid will be sternly disciplined, I hope, by his own skipper. In the fourth inning, no runs for the Kernels, 1 hit. There were no Wisconsin errors. The Kernels leave 1 and have stranded 4. We head to the top of the 5th. Hopefully we can have one more inning or so, or half inning at least, with Dr. Michael Lomax. Dr. Lomax, before we take it to break, I didn't have a chance to have you finish that quote that Josh Gibson made about James Cool Papa Bell, a Hall of Famer.
Well, supposedly, as the quote goes, Satchel Paige said that Cool Papa Bell was so fast that he could get in bed, he could turn off the light and get in bed before the light went out.
Under the sheets.
Under the sheets, right.
My dad told me that quote, and then he used to have me try it in my room, and I could never be that quick. We go to the 5th inning, Kernels 5, Wisconsin 2. You're enjoying Kernel Baseball on the Kernel Radio Network.
Reading stimulates a child's imagination, increases their mastery of subject matter, improves their spelling and vocabulary, and opens up new worlds of discovery. That's why Toyota Financial Services, the Gazette, and the Kernels are teaming up to encourage elementary students throughout the community to read. Kernels players will visit 38 elementary schools this spring to talk with students about the benefits of reading. Girls and boys will then be rewarded with nifty prizes for achieving reading milestones. Toyota Financial Services, the Gazette, and the Kernels, proud to stand behind our community's youth through reading.
Next up, a musical taste of Dr. Pepper. It's a new spin on an old vibe from me to you. A tasty sip of Dr. Pepper for your ears, and it starts like this.
I'm a pepper, he's a pepper, she's a pepper, we're a pepper, wouldn't you like to be a pepper?
Now that's cool, but pepper is a little better. So let's slide in a taste of this. Right on. But there's still more to it. I mean, there's nothing like it, because every sip is a kick and mashup of 23 different flavors. So for the true taste of Dr. Pepper, we dial it up even more.
I'm a pepper.
You know it. With 23 flavors mixed into one bold taste, every sip is a cool mix of music to your mouth. Woo! Dr. Pepper, there's more to it.
We're underway in the top of the 5th on a beautiful Sunday afternoon, and Casey Craig has fallen behind Moose Mosebach, 1 ball, 2 strikes. Dr. Michael Lomax from the University of Iowa is here. We'll have him back this summer. He's here to reward some of his graduate students who are working towards their masters and PhDs at the university. A cut fastball, a slider, and the left-handed batter, Casey Craig, couldn't get it. That's strikeout number 3 for Mosebach. Well, Dr. Lomax, I don't know where to begin as far as talking baseball and sports with you, because it is truly your passion.
Indeed, very much so.
And it's hard for me to believe at times, and I talk to Luvita, Sonia, and Julia about your classes, and it's all positive, yet at times they'll say, John, some people just sit there and... Is it because some of the classes are early in the morning? If I was a sports studies major, man, I'd be chomping at the bit to learn about the thing that I wanted to study.
Well, I think it's a combination of both things like that. And also, I bring really a newer perspective, and I approach my classes a little bit different than what they're used to in the other courses in the curriculum. So.
Well, that's very true, and that sometimes is hard to get used to. Here's a high fly ball into shallow center, and Madison Edwards battling that high sky and sun, gloves it 2 away here in the top of the 5th. 5-2 Kernels as Jeffrey Dominguez flies to center. The Kernels struck for 2 in the first on a Dallas Morris 2-run homer, and then scored 3 in the third against lefty Jose Escalona. Wisconsin answered with a pair of runs off our starter Moose Mosebach in their 4th inning. Fastball is upstairs to Luis Valbuena, ball 1. Dr. Lomax, do you get any kind of respite during this summer after classes end, or is it all teaching in the summer and research?
No, primarily research, and I'm currently working on my second book on black baseball that takes the story up to the Negro Leagues in the 1920s, and I'm also finishing a collection of essays that looks at the African American and Latino sporting experience in post-World War II America, particularly during the time of the Civil Rights and the Black Power movement. So,
wow.
Hopefully that book is about finished, and I hope to see it out in print sometime by the end of the year. But really, a big focus is going to be on my second volume.
A pitch slapped sharply back to the hill. Mosebach right next to his belt buckle calmly stabbed it and then threw the batter out. Luis Valbuena has a hit taken away from him by the Colonel pitcher, who sets the side down in order in the top of the fifth. Well, Dr. Lomax, I can't wait for that. I still remember Colette Smith and who was the third sprinter at Mexico City? Not John Carlos.
You're thinking of Tommy Smith and John Carlos.
Yeah, we talked about that earlier. Last summer, and I had Fergie Jenkins up here earlier this spring, and Fergie remembers those times very well, and I wish you very well on your research. The nice part about your research, Mike, is that it is an avocation. You'd be doing it anyway, wouldn't you?
Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
Well, Mike, I want to thank you and your protege, Anthony, for coming up. Please call or email. I'm very slow on email responses, you found out, because I'm so busy. But we want to have you back up for another two-part interview in the summer about your work and your teaching. And in the meantime, the rest of the day, enjoy this lovely day.
Well, thank you very much. I appreciate it very much, John.
That's Dr. Mike Lomax. He is something else. So fortunate to have him as a friend and a teacher here at the University of Iowa. We go to the home half of the fifth. Kernels lead Wisconsin 5-2. You're tuned to Kernel Baseball on the Kernel Radio Network.
We're here for your communication needs. Internet service, telephone, and TV. As a cooperative telephone company, our members are owners who make a good team. Service second to none. South Slope Cooperative Communication.
Get ready for summer and beat high gas prices with a pre-owned vehicle from Randy Keel Honda. Their inventory is jam-packed with fuel-efficient vehicles designed to save you money. Get an economical sedan for your daily commute, or indulge your sporty side with a high-performance coupe. Randy Keel Honda carries a large selection of Honda certified pre-owned vehicles, backed by a 12-month, 12,000-mile comprehensive warranty and 7-year, 100,000-mile powertrain warranty. Need to haul the entire family? For a limited time, you can get special financing on Honda certified pre-owned Odyssey. Whatever your driving needs, Randy Keel Honda has the vehicle for you. Visit Randy Keel Honda on Centerpoint Road Northeast or online at randykeel.com. Randy Keel Honda, where they treat you right.
Travis Schlichting opening up the Colonel fifth has hit a towering pop-up to the left side of the Wisconsin infield. It's caught by Ron Garth, the third baseman, one away. Now a high pop foul off to the right, out of play by Brett Martinez. 5-2 Kernels, and we're in the bottom of the fifth inning. We'll have a chance for you to earn a reward from the Springhouse Family Restaurant. That'll come your way in the sixth inning. Now a strike to Brett evens the count, 2-2. A lefty is warming up for Wisconsin down their left field line. That looks to be Raleigh Gibson. Yes, it is Raleigh Gibson. Here's a line shot into right center, and it falls in front of Mike Saunders, and Brett Martinez has his second straight hit. The Kernels have 6 hits on the day. Wisconsin has 7. The Kernels have turned 2 double plays and lead it here in the fifth inning, 5-2. We're hoping our guest is right outside. Yes, it'd be great. Steve Sullivan is on his way up. And when Steve comes up, we may push back our Springhouse trivia question an inning or two, but that's all right. You'll enjoy what he has to say about his new book, Talking Baseball Amongst Friends. A curve is outside to Marco Albano, who drove in a run in the Colonel 3-run third with a ground ball out to second. 70 degrees is our temperature here at the ballpark. I was saying before Dr. Michael Lomax joined us that NASA scientists did research trying to determine the ideal temperature for human existence, and they came up with 72 degrees. That's why when they built the Astrodome, they made it 72 degrees. There goes the runner. A pitch high, a ball to throw to second, and sliding in feet first, not in time, Brett Martinez. He's tagged out by Luis Valbuena. Brett Martinez caught trying to steal second. It went catcher to second. I'm not sure if Marco Albano missed a sign or if Brett was stealing on his own. 2 gone now in the Colonel 5th inning. 5-2. Kernels lead Wisconsin. Here's a ground ball to third. Ron Garth's been a busy man, and he leans down to glove it to his left and fires to first to retire Marco Albano. Albano hit it hard to third, but it was fielded cleanly by Garth, who threw Marco out. No runs, 1 hit in the 5th for the Kernels. There were no Wisconsin errors, and the Kernels lost a man trying to steal second, and the Kernels leave nobody on. After 5, Kernels leading Wisconsin 5-2. This is Colonel Baseball on the Colonel Radio Network.
Whether you're a serious athlete or a weekend warrior, injuries can take you out of your game. Smart athletes know that Physiotherapy Associates in Cedar Rapids are the experts in the treatment and prevention of sport-related injuries. Our expert staff serves the metro and surrounding area high school athletes. Physiotherapy Associates of Cedar Rapids, the smart choice in sports medicine. Call us at 398-1569. That's 398-1569. We'll get you back in your game today.
Training and the highest quality craftsmanship in the world are 2 hallmarks of union workers. Prospective construction clients can depend on workers who have learned their craft and mastered their skills through the Cedar Rapids, Iowa City Building Trades and Construction Council World-Class Apprenticeship Program. These experienced tradesmen will work with sign contractors to bring flexibility, efficiency, safety, and the highest skill and quality in the world to all building and construction projects. Eastern Iowa works best when we say union, yes.
Technology pervades every aspect of our daily lives. This remarkable age we live in has a machine or a computer to meet almost all of our needs. But you won't find a technological device that can provide you with the personal attention for something as important as insurance. Neighbor Insurance Services, your professional Pekin insurance agency in Hiawatha, is trained on all insurance matters, including how much coverage is enough coverage. For personal attention to all of your insurance needs, see the insurance professionals at Neighbor Insurance Services in Hiawatha.
Ron Garth will lead it off for Wisconsin here in the top of the 6th inning. 5-2 Kernels. Garth has 2 hits in 2 trips to the plate this afternoon. He doubled and scored in Wisconsin's 2-run 4th inning. Right-handed batter, and Mosebach misses high and in ball 1. Moose hasn't had his best stuff this afternoon, but his other attribute besides his terrific pitching skills is his competitive desire, and you can't place a value on that. A pitch cut on and swatted foul at the feet of the catcher, Brett Martinez, for strike 1. Well, let's go ahead and give you our Springhouse trivia question. If you've been one of our 14 previous winners, that's great, but please don't call in this afternoon. Play along wherever you're tuned in, across eastern Iowa or from coast to coast on the Internet. We'll give you the phone number to call after this Wisconsin 6th inning. Garth tries to bunt it way on and bunts foul. It's 1-2 to Ron Garth. Breakfast is served any time the Springhouse is open, and breakfast specials abound at the Springhouse Monday through Friday from 6 in the morning until 10:30 in the morning. Breakfast specials from 6 in the morning until 10:30 in the morning at the Springhouse. Breakfast is served any time the Springhouse is open, and coffee's only 85 cents at the Springhouse. A pitch in on the batter's hand, and it hits Ron Garth, and then it struck the catcher, Brett Martinez. Ron Garth is aboard the hard way. The last thing that Moose Mosebach wanted to do was hit Ron Garth, but Moose has struck the batter. That's the 4th hit batsman by the Colonel right-hander this season. Now Mike Saunders at the plate. Saunders has singled, reached on an error, and scored. Runner at first, nobody out for Mike Saunders. Saunders, a left-handed hitter, only 19 years old. Takes a strike call. Now a right-hander gets up on his feet in the Colonel bullpen, and that looks to be Rafael Cruz. 5-2 Kernels, top of the 6th inning, but Wisconsin has a runner at first with nobody out. A number to first. Only play for Schlichting is to look to second and step on the bag at first. Now, is it a foul ball? Is it a foul ball? Mike Saunders said he hit it off his foot. He didn't run. He's in the outer portion of the batter's box trying to show the umpire that that ball hit his back foot. Here comes Jim Horner, 2/3 of the way down the line to ask the plate umpire, and I think they're going to call Mike Saunders out. He failed to leave the batter's box, thinking the ball, well, not thinking, I don't think he faked it. He saying that ball hit him on the back foot, and now we'll see if Mike Saunders is called out or not. Steve Sullivan is back, and Steve, it's great to have you. You came at a fun time because we're going to give out our Springhouse Trivia question. We'll have folks call at 896-7589 at the end of this Wisconsin inning, and we've had a couple of disputes in this game, one involving the Colonel manager, Bobby Magallanes, with the Wisconsin bench. Steve Sullivan, our guest author, talking baseball amongst friends. Did you know what lit the fuse under Bobby's feet that caused him to really get into a verbal quarrel with one of the Wisconsin players?
No, I didn't hear what happened there, but I think with baseball, a beautiful day, I think maybe the temperature started rising with this wonderful weather as well.
Well, Jack Rader and I know that Bobby was disturbed before this game about the intensity and focus of our ball club, and sometimes when you're starting off on a kind of irritable mood, here's a ground ball up the middle and a terrific play in front of second by Larry Infante to glove it and throw J.B. Tucker out. 2 away here in the 6th inning. On to third goes Ron Garth. 2 away, top of the 6th inning. Kernels lead it 5-2. Steve Sullivan was our guest on the South Slope Communications Triple Play Show. I invited him back during these middle innings to say a bit more about his terrific book, Talking Baseball Amongst Friends, and we also have a Springhouse Trivia question that we'll give to you listeners, and please hold off on calling until after this Wisconsin top of the 6th. A chopper to first underneath Schlichting's glove. That'll make it 5-3 Kernels. Travis, not used to playing first, kind of let that ball play him. In his defense, Steve Sullivan, it was not an easy chance, and it's an RBI single for Eddie Hernandez.
No, he had a rocket with that pitch. It was a curveball and just kind of hung it, and he just smoked it.
Yes, Eddie did smoke it right by Travis Schlichting, almost threw him, a hard 2-hopper, and Eddie Hernandez, a 196 hitter, has RBI singles in his last 2 at-bats. Now Wisconsin's out-hit the Kernels 8-6, but the Kernels lead it 5-3. A throw to first, and Eddie Hernandez is back. Rafael Cruz warming up down the right field line for the Kernels, whose lead, once 5-0, has now been shaved to 2, 5-3. Mosebach comes set at the letters, and Moose pitches to Sabatella. A ground ball hit sharply to third. Dallas Morris fumbles it, and no play. That'll be the second Colonel error of this ball game. Dallas Morris just lost the handle, it looked like, Steve, after he gloved it cleanly.
Yeah, I thought he was going to be able to come up with that and end the inning, but looks like it just took a funny hop with him for him.
Our Springhouse Trivia question, and unfortunately we have to leave Steve Sullivan out of this one, although I'm sure Steve would know it and he can comment on it when our correct call comes in between innings. Here it is, your chance to earn a $5 gift certificate to the Springhouse. This 17-time American League All-Star set the Major League record for fewest errors in a season by a shortstop. In 1990, he made just 3 errors in 161 games. You'll be calling us at the end of this inning at 896-7589, 896-7589. Strike one is in to Jairo Hernandez. Now a high fly ball to right. Fading back Renz. Jordan has it to end the inning. Jairo Hernandez hit it well, but stroked it in the air to right, and Renz had it all the way. No, 1 run for Wisconsin in the 6th on 1 hit. A hit batsman, 1 Kernel error. Wisconsin leaves a pair. They've stranded 5. Let's give you our Springhouse trivia question again. Well, no, the phone's ringing. As we go to the bottom of the 6th inning, the Kernels lead Wisconsin 5-3. You're tuned to Kernel Baseball on the Kernel Radio Network.
In today's work world, knowledge is power. Training for modern job skills is opportunity and security. And you have one of the best choices for your future right here in eastern Iowa. It's Kirkwood. Kirkwood Community College offers over 100 degree programs to give you new job opportunities or a smart start on your college path. Find out more today. Call Kirkwood Admissions, 398-5517. Kirkwood, start here, go anywhere.
Hi, I'm Papa John, and when I say better ingredients, better pizza, I'm not talking about a little better. I'm talking about a lot better. Let's talk about our pizza sauce. It's made from fresh, fine-ripened tomatoes, not from concentrate. And when it comes to ingredients, we select from the world's best. Better ingredients, better pizza, Papa John's. A lot better.
Call your neighborhood Papa John's today and ask for the Home Run Special, a large, thin, or original crust pizza with up to 3 toppings for $10.99. Just $10.99.
Great teams consist of diverse talent. Rockwell Collins understands this and is committed to developing diversity in our community. We recognize that our leadership in the aviation and communications electronics industry hinges on attracting and retaining a diverse workforce. And we're working with other Iowa companies to create an environment that nurtures diversity. Rockwell Collins. Different thinking makes us great. Great thinking makes us different.
We have a winner in our Springhouse trivia question as a new hurler comes on for Wisconsin, Raleigh Gibson, in relief of Southpaw Jose Escalona. Escalona, a 4-game winner for Wisconsin. His only loss was hung on him by our ball club, the Kernels, up in Appleton on April 15th, and Jose will not win his 5th here this afternoon. Kept his team in the game. He went 5 innings, surrendered 5 runs, 4 earned on 6 hits. Escalona, the lefty, struck out 2, walked 2, and a fellow southpaw, Raleigh Gibson from Fresno City College, takes over in this 5-3 game. Kernels ahead. We're welcoming back from his South Slope Communications Triple Play Show appearance this afternoon, Steve Sullivan. And Steve, I said I'd have you comment on our Springhouse trivia question. It stated that a 17-time American League All-Star set the Major League record for fewest errors in a season by a shortstop, committing only 3 errors in 161 games in 1990. Jim Bingham of Center Point Road knew the answer, and I'll let you have your fair crack at it, Steve Sullivan. This one might be too easy for you.
I'd have to say Omar Vizquel.
That's what I would have guessed. And it may be right because my book may be outdated. We have it as Cal Ripken Jr.
Oh, yeah, that's right, America. Yeah, that's right.
But
you're right.
It's good you mentioned Omar. Here's a softly hit pop-up to shallow left. It's trouble, and it's over the head of Jeffrey Dominguez, and it's a base hit for Madison Edwards. Boy, Steve, when that ball left the bat, it looked like either Casey Craig, the left fielder, or Jeffrey Dominguez would come up with it. But at this level, most of these fellows are second-year professionals. That's not an easy play with the sun and wind, and that ball's a Texas League single for Madison Edwards.
Yep, it looks like the shortstop should have just turned and headed forward and then planted, and Bencetti's kind of floated too much, and it dropped in for a base hit.
And the Kernels have their 7th hit of the afternoon. There goes the runner. Smith chops it through the hole. Stantrell Smith has sent the runner Edwards to third on a perfectly executed hit-and-run single. And what a piece of base running and hitting combined by Edwards and the newcomer Stantrell Smith. A beautiful hit-and-run single by Stantrell sends Edwards to third. And that's the beauty of this level of professional baseball, Steve. You can see one play that needs some work on, and then the very next sequence, the Kernels executed better than a big league team.
And they looked like the Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim on that one, the first to third on a perfectly executed hit and run. Excellent fundamental baseball.
Oh, Dominguez had to cover second, and with a right-handed batter up, Jeffrey vacated his hole at short, and that's where Stantrell Smith chopped it through. And it's first and third, nobody out. And there goes the runner, Smith. Pitch low, and Stantrell steals second without a throw. Strike one on a changeup to Larry Infante. The Kernels trying to add to their 5-3 lead here in the sixth inning. And the reason I say Omar Vizquel's a very logical guess, Steve Sullivan, is that Vizquel and Ripken were both masters at their craft at shortstop.
Oh, yes, for so long they were just the dominant, some of the best that we've ever seen in the game.
A ground ball to first. I'm surprised the runner trying to score. They having a rundown, and that runner's tagged out, Dallas Morris. Reaching first is Larry Infante. Oh, that runner rather is Madison Edwards. It went first base, catcher, third base, and that takes the Kernels out of the possibility of a big inning. Larry Infante grounded it sharply to the feet of Brian Sabatella. Larry reaches on a fielder's choice. That's not what he wanted, with runners at first and third and nobody out. Infante's ball was thrown to the plate, and then the catcher Tucker ran Madison Edwards back to third, where he was tagged out by Ron Garth. Stantrell Smith remained at second. Well, we need a pick-me-up from Jordan Renz. The lefty Raleigh Thomas squares and looks the runner. Smith back to second. First and third, nobody out, and now first and second, one out. Jim Bingham, congratulations. Cal Ripken Jr. made just 3 errors in 161 games in 1990, establishing a major league record for fewest errors by a shortstop in a season. Jack Rader, who you've gotten to know here today, Steve, had Omar Vizquel when Jack was the general manager up in Wausau, Wisconsin back in the late 80s, early 90s, and he said Vizquel had a very unusual technique to practice ground balls. He would ghost them, pretend a ball was coming to him. There's a changeup for a strike to Jordan, 0-1. Well, let's get back to your book, and again, congratulations to our Springhouse winner, Jim Bingham. Jim lives on Center Point Road, so it'll be a short jaunt for him to visit Lester Schmitz and the gang at the Springhouse to redeem his $5 gift certificate. A deep drive to left, and Craig is back. He leaps and can't get it. Oh, there's two runners back to back. Stantrell Smith is racing around third. He'll score. The man behind him, Infante, is out at the plate. Out at the plate. Out at the plate, and the Kernels extend their lead to 6-3 on a booming double. Now both benches empty. Bobby Magallanes is arguing or yelling at Larry Infante or the catcher or the umpire, and we've almost had another breakout of a ruckus here. Larry Infante forearmed the catcher, tried to run him over, scoring with Stantrell Smith on a double over the head of Casey Craig. Larry Infante ran right up the back of Stantrell Smith, and he was thrown out at the plate on a double by Renz. Renz takes third on the throw home. Oh, my goodness, Steve Sullivan. We have seen so many crazy base running plays this afternoon. Too many to count.
Just this inning alone.
Oh, just this inning alone. Now spanking a curveball foul off to the right is Dallas Morris. I'm not sure what got into Bobby Magallanes on that play at the plate, whether he was yelling at the catcher, J.B. Tucker, or his own player, Larry Infante. Larry's thrown out, left fielder to third baseman to catcher, 7-5-2. And now there are two out. The Kernels lead it 6-3 here in the bottom of the sixth inning. This has been a wild and wacky game. A double by Dallas Morris would give him the cycle. Renz is at third with an RBI double. And a swing and a miss by Morris, strike two. Steve Sullivan's book, Talking Baseball Amongst Friends. We talked about it on the South Slope Communications Triple Play Show, and the action has been so furious here in the bottom of the sixth. We haven't let Steve get in a word and pick up where we left off about his wonderful project in which he went around the country and interviewed big leaguers about their passion for the game. A chopper over the hill. Shortstop vacuums it up. Dominguez takes a hit away from Dallas Morris with a fine play to his left and throws Dallas out to end the sixth inning. The Kernels, after all that, score one run on 3 hits. There were no Wisconsin errors. The Kernels leave 1, lose a man at the plate, and have stranded 5. We go to the top of the 7th, and the Kernels now lead Wisconsin 6-3. Steve Sullivan, we're going to keep it right here. You told us on the pregame show, the South Slope Communications Triple Play show, that Reggie Saunders, a former Cedar Rapids Red, was the first one who you met interviewing in your book about why professionals love baseball. He made you feel comfortable. What are a couple of other anecdotes from familiar big leaguers that you would like to share right now?
Well, another one that comes to my mind right away is Omar Vizquel. What a great guy. And I mean, when I first met him, I told him what I was working on. He just could not have been more enthusiastic about being a part of it. And he explained to me, too, growing up in Venezuela, that this part's not in the book, but when he grew up, using a piece of cardboard and a paper bag as a glove, and talked with me a little bit about, for young kids in the game to visualize themselves doing well and encourage them to be out in the backyard with their parents. And there's a story in there that talks about him working with a young guy who at the time and talking to him and his dad, encouraging him to practice, and now he's done a fantastic job. He's up in Michigan now, just playing incredibly well high school baseball just because of Omar's influence.
Well, I'll tell you, that brings home a point about your book. This isn't just a bunch of old war stories or tales being woved or weaved. These are people you talk to, and you try to get them to tell you why baseball, as you said, why they would be willing to give up 8 months away from their families. And granted, first-class travel, great money, but that's a big sacrifice. A lot of men and women don't want to make that sacrifice. The game means so much to the people you talk to. That story about Omar Vizquel complements the one Jack Rader told me about Omar visualizing a ball coming into his mitt. Omar Vizquel, I think, Steve, is still going strong in his late 30s or early 40s with the Giants, isn't he?
Yeah, he's still one of the best shortstops in the game, and I was just up in San Francisco just earlier this month and saw him make an acrobatic play, and I can't believe it looks like he's 24 years old.
Steve Sullivan is with us. He's visiting Eastern Iowa. We'll ask about where else he's headed to as a new Kernel pitcher takes over, Rafael Cruz. And he is fallen behind, or even with the count on Casey Craig, 1-1. Top of the 7th, we have a U.S. Cellular call to the Kernel bullpen, summoning right-hander Rafael Cruz in relief of Moose Mosebach. Craig takes a strike call, and it's 2-2 to the left-handed batter, who's doubled and struck out looking. Moose Mosebach, 6 innings pitched this afternoon, allowed 3 runs, 2 earned on 8 hits, struck out 4 and walked 1. Now a backdoor slider, and it's 3-1 to the number 9 hitter. Casey Craig doesn't wear batting gloves, wide stance, wears his Timber Rattler black socks up high. Raphael's 3-1. Strike 2 called. On this glorious sunny Sunday afternoon, we're in the top of the 7th inning. The Kernels have been have out-hit Wisconsin 9-8 and lead the Timber Rattlers 6-3. Payoff pitch, and that one's popped foul down the left field line. I like some of the titles of the chapters of your book. Some of them just have the name of the player, and I'm curious to know who Mr. Clutch is. Would that be Lenny Dykstra?
No, it was actually a gentleman that I met up in Portland, Oregon, when he played baseball at University of Wyoming.
Oh.
And he came off the bench to get a base hit to help him win.
A bouncer to first, backhanded by Schlichting. He leads Cruz perfectly. Travis handled himself beautifully at first base, being unfamiliar with the position. Casey Craig on a 3-2 pitch, bounces out to first, pitcher covering. It went 3-1. How did you happen to find Mr. Clutch out of the University of Wyoming?
By just sending out emails to some family and friends and let them know when I first started working on this what we were going to try to do, and they sent them out to other people, and different friends got involved, and it just became a phenomenon where everyone was contributing stories.
Boy, there's some great names in here that you write about. And for listeners, Steve, we want to ensure them this is not written as a novel. In fact, most of the stories, talking baseball amongst friends, are a page and a half to 4 pages long.
Mm-hmm.
And I love that kind of format because it keeps you, that you get across your lesson, your point, your story in a very succinct yet colorful way.
You know, you can flip through and you can find whatever player you're looking for, and then find some other stories, and you just get captivated, and you get lost in the moment. Next thing you know, you're halfway through it, and you're going from story to story to story.
Well, that's why I'm really glad I can take it on the Tri-State Travel Motor Coach later this evening. A 1-1 pitch darts downstairs to Jeffrey Dominguez. Dominguez has a 1-for-3 day going. He's 6th in the league in hitting, a .337 average. Dominguez, a switch hitter batting left. Rafael deals, strike 2. That looked like to be a split-fingered pitch or a fork ball as the bottom fell out of it. I'll rattle off some of the names of folks you can... Well, here's another interesting chapter or title to a vignette. Backdoor breaking pitch just missed. I'm guessing Bo Knows means you either met Bo Jackson or the fellas that sculpted his Nike media campaign.
Well, actually, I met Bo Jackson with a friend of mine down in 1990 down in Florida.
A high pop-up into shallow right center. Can anybody get there? Madison Edwards comes sprinting in to make the play in shallow right center. Madison's played sparkling defense out there today after Brad Kuhn was pinch run for in the Kernel first inning. Madison Edwards has 1, 2, 3 putouts in this game. How did you meet Bo Jackson in the prime of his football and baseball career, Steve?
It was just one of the greatest experiences, greatest days of our lives. We were down in spring training at Port Charlotte at the time, and Bo Jackson got thrown out of the game in an exhibition game, can you believe it or not, on a called third strike call. He broke his bat, goes crazy in the third inning, and gets kicked out. And
here's a broken bat grounder to short. Circling it is Infante. Larry on to first to retire Luis Valbuena. That play went short to first, and what a terrific inning for reliever Rafael Cruz. He retires the Wisconsin side in order here in the top of the 7th. Lindale Dental Care is getting this crowd jazzed up for the great baseball tradition 7th inning stretch. We're going to pick it up right where we left off with author Steve Sullivan. He's here in town and in eastern Iowa promoting his fabulous new book, Talking Baseball Amongst Friends. We'll hear what Bo Jackson had to tell him in 1990 after he was ejected from an exhibition game. After 6.5 here at the ballpark, it's the Kernels 6 and Wisconsin 3. You're tuned to Kernel Baseball on the Kernel Radio Network.
Hi, I'm Phil Andrews, your local Pekin insurance agent at Andrews Insurance here in Cedar Rapids. Even though we all do our best to stay healthy, we can never anticipate when an illness or accident might strike. Couple that reality with rising medical costs, and the importance of a top-notch medical plan becomes clear. Pekin Insurance offers a wide choice of deductibles and a non-tobacco user discount. To explore the major medical insurance plan that best fits you, visit me, Phil Andrews, at Andrews Insurance.
Hi, this is Dave Town with Five Seasons Transportation and Parking. Do you ever wonder if it's safe to send your child on the bus? It is, and here's a few reasons why. All the buses in Cedar Rapids are equipped with security cameras, so the drivers always know what's happening behind them. The buses also have global positioning systems, or GPS, which means they can be tracked at any time by satellite. Does that surprise you? It shouldn't. Five Seasons Transportation takes safety very seriously, and we've taken many steps to make sure your child will have a safe, easy ride every time they take the bus. Even when your child isn't on the bus, Five Seasons Transportation is helping keep them safe by using pollution-free biodiesel and alcohol fuels, Iowa products that help keep the air clean. And if your child is ever in trouble, they can always flag down a bus for help. I'm Dave Town, and I like to think of the bus as a traveling safety cocoon, motoring along Cedar Rapids streets. And keep in mind, if the bus is that safe and easy for your child, maybe you should think about riding the bus to work. Affordable, convenient, and safe. That's the bus. Ride it.
Flint Whipke is hit safely in all 8 games on this Kernel homestand. We go to the lower half of the 7th. Flint, an RBI single, stolen base and run scored back in the Kernel 3-run third. The Kernels have never been headed yet. Today, led 2-0 on a Dallas Morris 2-run homer in the first, scored 3 in the third. Wisconsin countered with a pair in the fourth off starter Moose Mosebach. And the Kernels then up their lead, or Wisconsin then scored another run in the 6th inning to make it 5-3. The Kernels countered with a run in the lower half of the 6th, and that's where we are now, 6-3. Alongside a guest we enjoyed visiting with on the South Slope Communications Triple Play Show, Steve Sullivan, author of Talking Baseball Amongst Friends. It's a brand new book, and
Flint Whipke's even on the count 1-1, facing lefty Raleigh Gibson, who's working from the stretch. Flint, a right-handed hitter, bounces it foul past first. A diving effort down there by Brian Sabella, but it whisked by him foul into the right field corner. Steve Sullivan, Bo Knows, is a chapter in your book, and you met him after he was ejected from a 1990 Grapefruit League game in Florida. How did you get him to simmer down and talk to you?
Well, you know those ballparks are so intimate down there in the Grapefruit League. Well, my friend Mike and I went over there to the locker room, and a bunch of other people saw us running down there too. And next thing we know, there was an enormous line, and the security guard, everyone's chanting, "We want Bo, we want Bo." The security guard comes out and says, "Now, did you guys start this?" And we say yes. And so he's like, "We'll get Bo out here if you can get everybody here to get an orderly, single file line." We did. We were teenagers, young kids, got the entire stadium to line up, and next thing we know, Bo Jackson came out and signed for about 11 innings because the game went in extra innings.
He signed autographs for 11 innings. Whipke pumps a 2-2 pitch foul into the plaza section, the bleachers down the right field line, the Papa John's Plaza. Count remains 2-2. And again, this counters what we talked about on the South Slope Communications Triple Play Show, Steve. I'm glad you're telling these stories. Bo had been ejected from the game. He signed autographs for every person waiting in line for 11 innings.
Oh, at least. And he would sign anything, cocktail napkins, the shirts, hats, anything that somebody could have to have him autograph. He took the time to do it and goofed around with kids and had fun with the adults and the fans. A wonderful, wonderful guy.
And a great story told in your book. Bo Knows. I would finish it by saying how to treat fans.
Yeah, exactly. He's a true gentleman of the game, and he didn't get maybe the ability to keep playing baseball. Otherwise, he would have been one of the greatest.
Well, and I've heard people say that in the short time they saw him. George Brett said he was the greatest athlete. Here's a line shot into the right center field gap. Flint Whipke may try for two. The center fielder heaves it into the cutoff man. Flint is out at second, trying to stretch a single into a double, and the crowd all over the base umpire. Flint, too, has a few words of disagreement. The play went Saunders to Valbuena to Dominguez, and Flint Whipke is out trying to stretch the Colonel 10th hit of the day into a double. Flint Whipke is credited with a single, and he's cut down trying to stretch it into a double, 8-4-6. I haven't had time to check my scorecard, but I would say at least 6 men have been thrown out on the base paths today, Steve.
Oh, it seems like it.
The action's been just almost uncontrollably assertive on the base paths. A change-up from Raleigh Gibson floats outside. Ball one to Travis Schlichting. Boy, you've got some great names in here of guys you talked to. J.D. Drew, I've always heard he's very, very quiet. I know he's a Christian. He's been criticized by the media for not being intense enough on the field and injury-prone. What would you tell our listeners about J.D. Drew?
When I talked with him when he was with the Atlanta Braves, and he couldn't have been kinder. Yeah. I mean, just could not have been a kinder person. And he's had some ups and downs injury-wise, but just a good guy. And actually talked a little bit about the College World Series when he played there and
for Florida State.
Correct. So and just he loves to play the game. And sometimes I think it's unfair for different fans and media to expect these ball players to be great communicators. They're great ball players, and sometimes they're not able to communicate to the media, but he's still a good guy, and it comes out in the book who he really is.
Well, and that's good to know. I know very little about J.D. Drew, and only again because the media has said that they paint him as a guy that is injury prone and hasn't made the most of his 5-tool ability, and that you could be that as it may or may not. You told us he treated you just royally.
Oh, all these guys in here, they were just fantastic. There were some guys that I didn't include that maybe weren't so wonderful, but these are the guys that took the time to have a little conversation, with me, and so they're in the book, and we've got a great group of people. Jerry Coleman's and George Wills.
We'll get to them in just a second. I can't wait to hear about George Will. Travis Schlichting has drawn a walk. We have a kind guest with us, Steve Sullivan, talking about his book, and Schlichting at first draws a throw. He's back. We're in the bottom of the 7th on this beautiful sunny Sunday. It's just past the top of the hour, and you're enjoying Colonel Baseball on ESPN Radio 1600. KCRG Cedar Rapids. George Will is a lightning rod, unfortunately. My brother and I have different... I like George's commentary. My brother thinks he's mean-spirited and too conservative. That's what makes a family go around. George Will is a very highly respected commentator on ABC television. He writes for Newsweek. He's an author and commentator and expert on current events and politics. He wrote a very good book called Men at Work. And without any more talking about him after this pitch, Steve, I want you to tell our listeners about what you learned as Martinez fouls one back. He's in the hole 0-2. What did you learn from George Will that you can relay to our listeners?
Well, one of the things, George Will has a certain air about him. I mean, he was just very, very polished and a great individual. I met him in Cleveland when the Yankees were in town. He was talking to some of the Yankees, but very gracious, very kind individual, and very intelligent. We talked briefly about his most memorable moment in when his first baseball game back in Pennsylvania, and
none of us ever forget that, though, do we?
And that's what comes out in that. There's so many times that's what's spoken about. That's what's mentioned. And George Will is just a baseball fan. Despite his views, he's still a baseball fan.
Well, right. And now, did he go to a game at Connie Mack Stadium or Forbes Field?
No, it was. I don't remember the name of the park off the top of my head. What I do remember was him saying that they were playing Goodnight Irene outside the ballpark, and he was there with his family, and those are the image for him. Those are the things that stick out, the sounds and the different smells, and that's what he remembers most about the game of baseball to this day.
George Will is a huge baseball fan, and he wrote a New York Times bestseller about Tony La Russa and life in the Oakland A war room, Men at Work.
Mm-hmm.
The book that Steve Sullivan is sharing some anecdotes about, and I highly recommend it. I hardly could put it down to do this broadcast, and I mean that. I'm going to take it with us to Dayton and Clinton, and it'll be a quick, fascinating read. Strike three call to Martinez as Raleigh Gibson, in his second inning of relief, has recorded his first strikeout. Brett now 2 for 4 today. Here's Marco Albano, 0 for 3 with a run driven in on a ground ball out back in the third inning. Another familiar name to a lot of our listeners, Steve Sullivan, in the realm of baseball experts, Dave Campbell. I'll share a short story with you about Dave Campbell. I used to send my baseball cards around to various players, and for some reason I picked Dave Campbell, and he sent the baseball cards back with his autograph. Little did I know that he was just kind of a utility player in the big leagues, but he's carved himself a niche as he and Harold Reynolds are really the guys people defer to for opinions on baseball.
Mm-hmm. And he's one of those guys. He's a Midwestern guy. Grew up in Michigan. He talks about his father and his father's influence in the game for him. And he was never going to be one of those superstar Hall of Famers. But his knowledge of the game is unsurpassed, and that comes out a little bit in his story. But that's what I think some of the guys who are great communicators, they've had to learn how to do that.
Yes.
And they might not have had the skill set some of these other superstars had, so they're much more able to find the ways to win and pick things apart and be more subjective.
And that's exactly what Dave Campbell is. His nickname is Soup. You can catch him here tonight on 1600 when the Giants visit the Phillies on the Sunday night baseball game. Here this afternoon, we're in the bottom of the 7th, and it's 6-3 Kernels. The batter is Marco Albano, and he takes the first pitch from Raleigh Thomas, a lefty, for strike one. Both starters are gone. Moose Mosebach went 6 innings for the Kernels, surrendered 3 runs, 2 earned on 8 hits. Lefty Jose Escalona went 5 for Wisconsin. He yielded 5 runs, 4 earned on 6 hits. This has been a action-packed, thrilling game featuring men being thrown out all over the base paths. Here's a high, lazy fly ball into straightaway right. Eddie Hernandez, with his glasses down, gloves it. Marco Albano skies to right. No runs in the 7th for the Kernels. A leadoff single. Flint Whipke was thrown out trying to stretch it to a double. A walk. There were no Wisconsin errors. The Kernels leave a runner aboard and have left 6. We're going to wrap things up in the top of the 8th inning with our guest, Steve Sullivan. He's the author of a great new book, Talking Baseball Amongst Friends, and we'll hear more from Steve after this. You're listening to Kernel Baseball on the Kernel Radio Network.
Get ready for summer and beat high gas prices with a pre-owned vehicle from Randy Keel Honda. Their inventory is jam-packed with fuel-efficient vehicles designed to save you money. Get an economical sedan for your daily commute, or indulge your sporty side with a high-performance coupe. Randy Keel Honda carries a large selection of Honda certified pre-owned vehicles, backed by a 12-month, 12,000-mile comprehensive warranty and 7-year, 100,000-mile powertrain warranty. Need to haul the entire family? For a limited time, you can get special financing on Honda certified pre-owned Odysseys. Whatever your driving needs, Randy Keel Honda has the vehicle for you. Visit Randy Keel Honda on Centerpoint Road Northeast or online at randykeel.com. Randy Keel Honda, where they treat you right.
When you're in the market to buy or sell a home, how can you differentiate one realtor from another? The distinction is clear when you consider the remarkable offer that Dick Ramsey of Skogman Realty makes. Dick Ramsey's offer is unprecedented. Buy one of Dick Ramsey's homes, and Dick Ramsey will buy yours. That extraordinary pledge bears instant replay. Buy one of Dick Ramsey's homes, and Dick Ramsey will buy yours. For the best home buying or home selling experience in Cedar Rapids, turn to the home team. Skogman Realty's Dick Ramsey.
Through 7 innings, the Kernels lead it, 6 runs, 10 hits, 2 errors. Wisconsin, 3 runs, 8 hits, 2 errors. Ryan Aldridge is up in the bullpen for the Kernels, but it's the 8th inning, and front and center stage is Rafael Cruz, who set the side down in order in the 7th, and he misses inside ball 1 to Ron Garth. Steve Sullivan, Talking Baseball Amongst Friends is the name of his book. Garth corks one deep into the left center field gap for extra bases. It's over the wall. A home run for Ron Garth. He's 3 for 3 and has scored 3 of the 4 runs for Wisconsin. Ron Garth belts his 3rd of the year, and the Colonel lead has now been cut to 6-4 here in the 8th inning. Ron Garth jackhammered one to the right of the 378 mark over the 8-foot-high green padded wall. Ron Garth makes it a 6-4 game in favor of the Kernels with his 3rd home run of the year. Steve Sullivan, where will you be headed yet in the state of Iowa to talk to our great listeners and fans about this wonderful book of yours?
I'll be in Dyersville tomorrow near the Field of Dreams, and then on Monday I'll be in Des Moines at the Iowa Cubs game.
As an author and a new kid on the block in the world of writing and publishing, you told us on the South Slope Communications Triple Play show that this is a full-time but new career for you. How do you get these opportunities? Do you have an agent? Do you do the groundwork yourself? How do you get these chances to promote your book?
I do this entirely on my own. I went all in on this one, and my wife and I are expecting our first child in August. So a lot of this has to get done right away. So, calling different people and asking to come to different ballparks and doing radio shows and TV shows. So it's just a hodgepodge of promotion, but it's just a thrill. I mean, this is so much fun to go to ballparks every day, and that's my job. It's great.
Well, we admire the work you've done and the time you've taken to tell us about some of the great things in your book. There's a change-up, and it's ball 2 to Mike Saunders, 2-2 to the left-handed batter. Steve also has some good news about where 10% of the proceeds from the sale of his Talking Baseball Amongst Friends books will go.
I created a foundation called the Perfect Game Foundation, and we're going to create scholarships for kids and help them go to universities, and we're going to try to build ballparks. We're going to make some donations to the RBI program and help build ballparks and pay for equipment for kids all over the country.
A smash on 2 hops to second. Marco Albano has it and throws out Mike Saunders. 1 away here in the 8th inning, 6-4 Kernels. And for those that aren't familiar with that term, Steve, RBI, we had a young man on our team last year. Here's a little looper into shallow center off the batter's fist, and this one's going to fall in front of the hustling Madison Edwards. It's a Texas League single for J.B. Tucker. Tucker has his 2nd hit of the afternoon, and Wisconsin has their 10th day. Hits are even at 10 apiece now, and the Timber Rattlers bring up the tying run, Eddie Hernandez. Drew Toussaint played at Jackie Robinson Stadium in
I believe, Los Angeles as a youngster, and you mentioned Coco Crisp. We're going to have a pitching change that we'll tell you about here in a moment, but you said some of the proceeds from the Perfect Game Foundation you formed, Steve, will go to the RBI program. Could you explain what that is?
It's called Reviving Baseball in Inner Cities, and John Young, the founder of the program, has become a very dear friend of mine, and he's a former director of scouting for the Tigers and the Marlins, and he's the one who kind of helped open a bunch of doors for me into Major League Baseball. And I believe in his program so much. It's helped so many kids in education and in athletics. They have a program where they help kids academically and prepare for school and prepare for college. There's a great story about this kid named Randy Molina, who worked through the RBI program and really developed as a young man, and academically, and he grew up in East LA, and really just he wasn't afforded some of the opportunities that other kids have. And he got involved in the RBI program, and they helped him athletically, and they helped him academically. He ended up getting a full ride to Stanford University at shortstop. I mean, those are the type of stories, those are the type of things, and, that's going to help exponentially, in other people. I mean, he's going to be a model and a role model and a leader and an example of what you can do if given the opportunity. And that's what I want Talking Baseball and the Perfect Game Foundation to do, to help kids get the opportunity to be everything that they can be and challenge themselves beyond their expectations.
Well, we commend you for that, Steve, and as Drew Toussaint played here last year, I can tell you that he is another great story about, is it Ron Young? The fellow that founded John Young. And he should be very proud of what he's done to make a difference. A U.S. Cellular call to the Colonel bullpen has right-hander Ryan Aldridge taking over with the tying run at the plate, Eddie Hernandez, and Ryan fires high and away, ball one. Rafael Cruz lifted. He goes an inning and a third. So far, he's been charged with a run on 2 hits. He struck out none and walked none. Ryan Aldridge is 1-2 this year, an ERA of 5.25. The right-hander slings in a fastball inside. 2-0 to Eddie Hernandez, who has RBI singles. Speaking of that term, runs batted in, reviving baseball in the inner city. He has a pair of RBI singles his last 2 times up. Left-handed batter. Is he swinging? No, and a fastball at 89 miles an hour, according to the Bank Iowa speed pitch indicator panel underneath the scoreboard. Strike one to Eddie Hernandez. It's time for our baseball fun fact, and we'll see if Steve would like to comment on it. There's ball 3 just outside. We also want to put out the word to Andy Pantini and Todd Brummelkamp if there's any way they can help us find the server here in our booth. I know we have a lot of finals that will be pouring in from this afternoon on the State Farm Major League scoreboard, and our computer's up to its old tricks telling us it can't find the server. And I'll be darned if I know what that means. Hernandez slaps the 3-1 pitch into the screen. It's a full count now. Our baseball fun fact, we'll have it for you after this payoff pitch from Ryan Aldridge. To Hernandez, and he fouls that one straight back. A good cut. Well, we had our baseball fun fact at our fingertips, and somehow I think I've misplaced it for, here it is. We'll have it for you after this next pitch, and perhaps our guest and a fellow that's just absolutely there goes the runner, a ball outside, and it's a walk. It's a walk, and it's first and second with only 1 out as Wisconsin threatens here in the top of the 8th inning. Ryan Aldridge just missed outside, apparently. Ball 4 to Eddie Hernandez, and now the Kernels are in a jam. Leading 6-4, Wisconsin has the tying runs at first and second with only 1 out. Let's see if Ryan Aldridge can get a strikeout, pop up, or better yet, a double play to get out of this trouble. Our baseball fun fact, the Washington Senators never drew more than 1 million fans in a season during their 10 years at Old D.C. Stadium, the nation's capital. Here's a high drive down the line and left, and it hooks foul. Foul, that would have given Wisconsin the lead. A 3-run homer bid just missed by Brian Sabatella as it started fair and hooked foul. I find that hard to believe that the Washington Senators from 1962 through 1971, 10 years in our nation's capital. Granted, they were only above 500 in one of those 10 seasons, but they never drew more than 1 million fans at the former D.C., then RFK Stadium, where the Nationals play. A ground ball to second. Albano's only play is to second. Runner out, and a runner rounds third. A throw there, he's back. Brian Sabatella, after narrowly missing a 3-run homer, forces Eddie Hernandez at second. The force went 4-6. Albano 2, Infante, and Brian Sabatella reaches on the fielder's choice, 2 away here in the 8th inning. Ted Williams skippered the Senators a couple of seasons, but that didn't even mean 1 million fans. In 1969, the Senators were 10 games above 500. They drew 918,000. Last year, under Hall of Famer Frank Robinson, the Nationals at RFK Stadium drew 2.7 million. Let me get your opinion, Steve Sullivan, on this whole issue of baseball. A ground ball to third. Morris has it, throws to second for the out. Jairo Hernandez broke his bat and wrapped out to third baseman Dallas Morris, who fed the second baseman Albano to end the inning. 1 run for Wisconsin on 2 hits. There were no Colonel errors. The Timber Rattlers leave a pair, and they've stranded 7. We go to the bottom of the 8th inning, and it's the Kernels leading now 6-4. This is Kernel Baseball on the Kernel Radio Network.
Second to none, South Slope Cooperative. We're here for your communication needs. Internet service, telephone, and TV. As a cooperative telephone company, our members are owners who make a good team. Service second to none, South Slope Cooperative Communication.
Are you looking to take your baseball or softball game to the next level? The premier place to do it is Perfect Game, located across the street from Veterans Memorial Stadium. Perfect Game's professional baseball and softball instructors will help improve your pitching, hitting, throwing, fielding, and base running abilities in Iowa's premier training facility. For the best individual baseball and softball instruction and training, visit Perfect Game. That's Perfect Game, just a fly ball away from Veterans Memorial Stadium.
When it comes to making buying decisions, people let their fingers do the walking through Yellow Book Yellow Pages. It's no wonder. Yellow Book's packed with ads, coupons, restaurant menus, and more. Delivering to homes and businesses throughout the area, Yellow Book combines the features consumers want with advertising rates business owners can afford. To place your ad, call 1-800-YB-YELLOW. That's 1-800-YB-YELLOW. Yellow Book, not the other book.
Well, we have to let our guest, Steve Sullivan, head down. Steve, there's lots of people wanting to meet you and buy your book. Again, it is Talking Baseball Amongst Friends, and we appreciate you coming back after your South Slope Communications Triple Play Show interview with us.
Oh, it was a thrill, and thank you very much. It was great talking baseball, and I'm considering you a friend, so we were just talking baseball amongst friends. So thank you so much for having me, and I really appreciate it. And again, the fans, they can check it out at www.talkingaf.com. If they'd like to contribute their own story for the next one, we'd love to see it.
That is great. Steve Sullivan, our guest, and he does have a lot of folks waiting for him down below. That's good news for him to sign the copies of his book, Talking Baseball Amongst Friends. Steve, thank you so much. Steve Sullivan with us. We open up the bottom of the 8th inning. Madison Edwards tried to bunt his way on, and he bunted it in the air at the feet of the first baseman, Brian Sabatella. And Sabatella grabbed it, but in foul ground as he tagged Madison Edwards. But it was a foul ball. Now Raleigh Gibson delivers low, and it's 1-1. Our baseball fun fact, during their 10 years in D.C. from 1962 through 1971, the Senators never drew 1 million fans. Last year, after they moved from Montreal and had an 81-81 record under Frank Robinson, 2.7 million came to RFK Stadium.
Ball 2 is outside to Madison Edwards. It's 6-4 Kernels. We're in the bottom of the 8th inning. Strike 2 on the outside corner from lefty Gibson. Ryan Aldridge came in and got the last 2 outs after walking a man in the 8th inning. The Kernels have never trailed today. Strike 3 called on the outside corner to Madison Edwards. The Kernels have 4 hits off of lefty Raleigh Gibson, but have only scored 1 run off the southpaw. He came on in relief of starter Jose Escalona in the 6th inning. Stantrell Smith tries to bunt his way on and bunts foul outside first, strike 1. Stantrell helped the Kernels score a big run in the 6th inning with a beautifully executed hit-and-run single, sending Madison Edwards from first to third. A home run in the 1st inning by Dallas Morris, number 14 for the Kernels this year, and another $25 from PRC's Community Care to the Haycap Food Reservoir. A change-up from Raleigh Gibson is low for ball 1. To Stantrell Smith, right-handed batter from Georgia. Stantrell tried to hold up a fastball taken at the knees for strike 2. The Kernels turned 2 very unique double plays in this game, 1 in the 1st and 1 in the 3rd. Those are the difference in the game right now. Smith swings at a changeup and misses, strike 3. That is the 3rd strikeout for lefty Raleigh Gibson. 2 away, and here's Larry Infante. We'll be with you tomorrow evening at 5:40 Iowa time for the South Slope Communications Triple Play Show from Dayton, Ohio. The Dayton Dragons are playing good baseball. They're 15-14. The Kernels 14-15. Ball 1 low and away to Larry Infante, who's nothing for 3 today. Larry hitting .133, no homers, 4 RBIs. There's a fastball in for a strike to Infante. Bases empty, 2 gone here in the 8th. 6-4 Kernels as Infante knuckles a pitch foul right behind the plate. 1-2 to Larry. Each team has 10 hits and each club has made 2 errors. Gibson fires, and here's a high pop foul on top of the grandstand roof behind the plate. Boy, a lot of finals have been posted now from this afternoon, and we'll start writing those down for you so that we can share them with you on the Colonel Curtin call. 1 ball, 2 strikes to Larry Infante. Curve and a swing and a miss, and striking out the side and setting the stage for the 9th is Raleigh Gibson of the Timber Rattlers. He mowed down the lower 3 in the Colonel order, striking all 3 out. We go to the top of the 9th inning on this gorgeous Sunday afternoon, and the Kernels lead the Timber Rattlers 6-4. You're enjoying Colonel Baseball on the Colonel Radio Network.
Whether you're a serious athlete or a weekend warrior, injuries can take you out of your game. Smart athletes know that Physiotherapy Associates in Cedar Rapids are the experts in the treatment and prevention of sport-related injuries. Our expert staff serves the metro and surrounding area high school athletes. Physiotherapy Associates of Cedar Rapids, the smart choice in sports medicine. Call us at 398-1569. That's 398-1569. We'll get you back in your game today.
Training and the highest quality craftsmanship in the world are two hallmarks of union workers. Prospective construction clients can depend on workers who have learned their craft and mastered their skills through the Cedar Rapids, Iowa City Building Trades and Construction Council World-Class Apprenticeship Program. These experienced tradesmen will work with signed contractors to bring flexibility, efficiency, safety, and the highest skill and quality in the world to all building and construction projects. Eastern Iowa works best when we say union, yes.
Technology pervades every aspect of our daily lives. This remarkable age we live in has a machine or a computer to meet almost all of our needs. But you won't find a technological device that can provide you with the personal attention for something as important as insurance. Neighbor Insurance Services, your professional Pekin insurance agency in Hiawatha, is trained on all insurance matters, including how much coverage is enough coverage. For personal attention to all of your insurance needs, see the insurance professionals at Neighbor Insurance Services in Hiawatha.
Ryan Aldridge in a spot to try to help the Kernels gain a split in this four-game series with Wisconsin. Ryan has 3 saves, and he last pitched Thursday in the series opening win here against the Timber Rattlers. The Kernels won that one 6-2. Here's a high drive into deep left center. Madison Edwards won't get it. Casey Craig is aboard as he rounds second. He'll try for third. A good throw is going to get him. He is safe. Safe by a whisker at third, Casey Craig. Casey Craig has done it again. He's done it again. Another extra base hit as he smoked one over the head of Madison Edwards in deep left center. Edwards hit the cutoff man perfectly. Larry Infante. Larry's throw to third, just not quite in time. It was safe by a whisker. Casey Craig continues his mastery over Colonel pitching, a .267 hitter. But that's his 5th extra base hit of the series. And the Timber Rattlers have the tying run at the plate with nobody out. A tap to second, and a run scores. Marco Albano throws out Jeffrey Dominguez. 1 away, and it's a 6-5 Colonel lead here in the 9th inning. 2 pitches result in a run here in the 9th inning. A triple and a bounce out to second. Bases empty, 1 gone. 6-5 Kernels. Wisconsin's out hit the Kernels 11-10. What a series for Casey Craig. Here's strike 1 from Ryan Aldridge to left-handed hitting Luis Valbuena. 6-5 Kernels here in the top of the 9th inning. No room for error now as Valbuena strokes one into shallow left. It's a base hit. It's a base hit, and Wisconsin has the tying run at first. Stan Trell Smith, along with the other 2 Kernel outfielders, was playing deep to try to prevent a double, and that backfires as Luis Valbuena reaches on a 1-out single. 12 hits now for the rampaging Timber Rattlers. They've never led in this game. They've never tied it. They're now creeping up on the Kernels. 1 out, 1 on here in the top of the 9th. Could the Kernels possibly turn their 3rd double play of the day? Look out for this guy, the batter Ron Garth. He singled, doubled, and scored. Been hit by a pitch and scored. Homered. So he is a perfect 3 for 3, and he has scored 3 of Wisconsin's 5 runs. Ball 1 low, a throw to first, and diving back in is Luis Valbuena. He's 5 for 7 in stolen base attempts, is Luis Valbuena. Game on the line here in the top of the 9th inning, 6-5 Kernels. Aldridge brings it, and it's plugged foul off the batter's fist into the first base seats. 1,644 here this afternoon. 1,644. Ryan Aldridge is trying to save this one for Moose Mosebach, but it won't be and has not been easy. The Timber Rattlers have so much fight and spunk in them. Look out, Aldridge comes right in on the hands of Ron Garth. He threw his hands in the air to protect himself, and the pitch rattled off his fist. Strike 2. The Kernels have a right-hander up in their bullpen, Chris Howell. The 1-2 to Garth. Strike 3 called, a slider. For the first time today, the Kernels have retired Ron Garth A borderline pitch at the knees. Strike 3 called. Ryan Aldridge will now try to get the cleanup batter, Mike Saunders, to help the Kernels gain a split in this series. And this crowd of 1,644 comes alive. Tying run at first. 2 out, top of the 9th inning. Mike Saunders has some big hits in this series. A slider is in for a strike at the knees to the 19-year-old from Victoria, British Columbia, out of Tallahassee Community College, Mike Saunders. Outfield playing out of sight for the Kernels, trying to guard against an extra base hit. There's strike 2, a fastball. Strike 2, a fastball. Now, will Ryan Aldridge come right after left-handed hitting Mike Saunders? Yes, he did, and he just missed outside. That pitch moments ago was ruled a strike by the plate umpire. It must have been just a hair outside. Here's the crowd clapping in unison. The 1-2 pitch to Saunders. Strike 3 called! Saunders did not like it, but he's gone looking. Strike 3 called, and the Kernels hang on and win the series finale to gain a split with Wisconsin, 6-5 in the ninth for Wisconsin. 1 run on 1 hit. 2 hits. There were no Kernel errors. The Timber Rattlers leave. 1 man aboard. They stranded 8. And the Kernels prevail in a nail-biter down the stretch, 6-5. 6-5 Kernels, even though Wisconsin out-hit us 12-10. We'll be back with the totals, highlights, and more in just a moment. The Kernels have a record on this 8-game homestand of 5-3. The 8-game homestand record, 5 wins and 3 losses. We'll be back with the Kernel Curtain Call in just a moment. This is Kernel Baseball on the Kernel Radio Network.
Fairfax State Savings Bank is paying you to come to the ballpark every Wednesday this season. You heard right. Fairfax State Savings Bank is paying you to come to Veterans Memorial Stadium every Wednesday this season. The first 750 of you Kernel fans to enter the gates before Wednesday's home game will receive an envelope full of money inside from Fairfax State Savings Bank. Each of those 750 envelopes will contain a greenback up to a $100 bill. Fairfax State Savings Bank, free money Wednesdays. Come early to line your pocket with cash.
There's a lot you can do to satisfy your taste for Italian. You can marry one. Do you, Susan Smith, take Giuseppe Florentino? You can drive one. Or you can go to Zio Giano's and feast on Zio's homemade bread, pizzas, and pasta, authentically prepared in Zio Giano's famous Italian style. Zio Giano's for the hometown taste of Italy.
Come to Zio Giano's, our pasta makes you Zio. Come to Zio Giano's for il Italiano. Come to Zio Giano's, the pasta makes.
It's time for the Kernels Curtain Call. Now, with a game recap, a complete look at the State Farm scoreboard, and a look ahead to upcoming action, let's rejoin the voice of the Kernels, John Rogers.
Wild and woolly action as the Kernels end this 8-game homestand on a high with a 6-5 winner over the Timber Rattlers. This was a very enjoyable series, the second leg of an 8-game Kernel homestand that saw the Kernels go 5-3. Welcome back to Veterans Memorial Stadium. We have a little bit of an out-of-control situation with kids leaking out of the umpire's tunnel. We've got to get security on that. Somehow they're getting on the field, and boy, this thing is getting out of hand, and we'll get on it, though. Security will, there we go. There's some of the PEP crew trying to slow the kids down and make them stay under control as they run the bases thanks to Velocity Sports Performance. 6-5 win for the Kernels on this lovely Sunday. The Timber Rattlers had a great chance to score early against winner Mosebach. They had runners at first and second, nobody out in the top of the first. Ron Garth then singled to left. The newcomer Santrell Smith threw into the cutoff man, Dallas Morris, and Morris tagged the lead runner, Jeffrey Dominguez, rounding third. and then threw to second and got Luis Valbuena for a double play. And that really set the tone for the Kernel victory today. In the bottom of the first, Brad Kuhn reached on an error by the center fielder, Mike Saunders. Dallas Morris followed with a 2-run homer, and the Kernels never trailed after Morris's 2-run homer. The Kernels added 3 in the third inning on RBIs from Flint Whipke. He hit safely in all 8 games on the homestand. Brett Martinez swatted a run home with a base hit, and Marco Albano kept the Kernel 3-run third with an RBI groundout. Moose Mosebach didn't have quite as good a stuff as he had here Monday night in his 6-0 win over South Bend. He struggled a bit with his command and gave up 8 hits in 6 innings. He surrendered 2 runs, one of them earned in the 4th inning. RBIs from Eddie Hernandez and Brian Sabatella, or an RBI by Eddie Hernandez, and another run scored on an error committed by the Kernels, and that cut the Kernel lead to 5-3, or 5-2. Wisconsin scored a run in the 6th to make it 5-3, but the Kernels got a perfectly executed hit-and-run single by newcomer Santrell Smith that sent Madison Edwards to third, and that would lead to a run on an RBI double by Jordan Renz. Renz's RBI double made it 6-3 Kernels. Wisconsin scored a run off Rafael Cruz in the 8th and one off of Ryan Aldridge in the 9th, but Ryan Aldridge was able to strike out Ron Garth looking and Mike Saunders, the cleanup man, looking with a tying run at first in the 9th inning to help the Kernels to this 6-5 victory. Here's the final line score for the Kernels: 6 runs, 10 hits, 2 errors. Kernels left 6. Wisconsin had 5 runs, a dozen hits, 2 errors. The Timber Rattlers left 8. Winning pitcher Moose Mosebach, he's 3-0 now. Ryan Aldridge records the save, his 4th. The loser was starter Jose Escalona. He's 4-2, and both of his losses have come at the hands of the Kernels. The game took 2 hours and 28 minutes, and there were 1,644 to enjoy the bright sunshine and beautiful conditions here at Veterans Memorial Stadium. 6-5 Kernels. Will return in just a moment with the PRC play of the game here on the Kernel Radio Network.
Fairfax State Savings Bank is paying you to come to the ballpark every Wednesday this season. You heard right. Fairfax State Savings Bank is paying you to come to Veterans Memorial Stadium every Wednesday this season. The first 750 of you Kernel fans to enter the gates before Wednesday's home game will receive an envelope full of money inside from Fairfax State Savings Bank. Each of those 750 envelopes will contain a greenback up to a $100 bill. Fairfax State Savings Bank, free money Wednesdays. Come early to line your pocket with cash.
There's a lot you can do to satisfy your taste for Italian. You can marry one. Do you, Susan Smith, take Giuseppe Florentino? You can drive one. Or you can go to Zio Giano's and feast on Zio's homemade bread, pizzas, and pasta, authentically prepared to Zio Giano's famous Italian style. Zio Giano's for the hometown taste of Italy.
Come to Zio Giano's, the pasta makes you Zio. Come to Zio Giano's for Il Italiano. Come to Zio Giano's, the pasta.
It's quite a scene down below. Everybody has fallen into line, just as Andy Pantini, our Director of Entertainment, asked them to do. They've fallen into line, and Velocity Sports Performance is proud to sponsor Kids Running the Bases on the heels of a Kernel 6-5 victory here this afternoon that raises the Kernel first half record to 15-15. Welcome back here on the Kernel Curtain Call. It's time, thanks to PRC, to enjoy our play of the game. A job at PRC is a job you'll love. Their benefit package is called Life Essentials. It includes a 401k retirement savings plan, flexible schedule, casual dress, medical, dental, vision, and pet insurance, and paid training at PRC. You can learn more about an amazing team that cares for your needs and gives you the ability to grow by visiting PRC's website. That's www.prcnet.com. The Kernels led 2-0 when Wisconsin had Casey Craig at second and nobody out in the third inning. Moose Mosebach was on the hill for the Kernels. Let's join the action right there for our PRC play of the game.
Strikes, yes.
Robert Mosebach. Slender, trim right-hander comes set, delivers a sinker, a swing and a miss. Run it, second. Double play. Dominguez struck out. Mark Martinez pegged down to the shortstop. Larry Infante and Casey Craig was on honor. Tipped off second base.
We'll figure out where that echo is coming when we contact our engineers in Dayton. Hopefully from Dayton we'll contact our engineers. But you got the gist of it. Casey Craig was picked off second after Jeffrey Dominguez struck out. The play went Martinez to Larry Infante, the shortstop. That was the second remarkable double play the Kernels turned in the first 3 innings of this game, and that's why we chose it as our PRC play of the game. Dallas Morris belted a 2-run homer in the first inning this afternoon, and for every Kernel home run hit this season, PRC, the former Access Direct here in Cedar Rapids, PRC's Community Care Home Runs for the Hungry campaign helps reduce hunger in our community by donating $25 to the Haycap Food Reservoir. The Kernels have now hit 14 home runs this spring, and that means PRC's Community Care has donated $350 to the Haycap Food Reservoir. Up next on the Kernel Curtain Call, we'll check all the scores on the State Farm Major League scoreboard. This is Kernel Baseball on the Kernel Radio Network.
The hottest feature in beautiful Veterans Memorial Stadium is the coolest place. It's the Whirling Waters Home Run Hot Tub. How can you and your friends relax and splash it up from the most coveted spot at the ballpark? Simply register at Center Point in Westfield Mall, and listen, if you're selected as the winner, you'll enjoy the ultimate entertainment experience. AquaJet Stream Comfort atop the left field wall in the Whirling Waters Home Run Hot Tub. Brought to you by Westfield Mall and Whirling Waters. Your chance to...
We're back at Veterans Memorial Stadium, and it's time now, thanks to State Farm Insurance agents Gary Schubat, Brad Dunn, Al Shetler, and Dale Thompson to bring you scores on the State Farm Major League scoreboard. The Kernels won here this afternoon 6-5 to end their 8-game homestand with a record of 5-3. In Toronto this afternoon, the Blue Jays turned back our parent club, the Angels, 3-1. At Fenway Park, it was the Red Sox stomping Baltimore 10-3. The White Sox edged the Royals at U.S. Cellular Field this afternoon 3-2. It was the Yankees toppling the Rangers at Ameriquest Field in Arlington, Texas 8-5. The Twins whipped the Tigers 4-2 at the Metrodome. Cleveland holds a 1-0 lead over the Mariners in the top of the 7th at Safeco Field, and it's the Devil Rays leading Oakland 3-1 in the top of the 6th inning at the Coliseum. We have 3 finals in the National League on the State Farm Major League scoreboard. At RFK Stadium today, Washington shaded the Pirates 5-4. The Cardinals clobbered the Marlins 9-1 at Dolphin Stadium in Miami. And it was the Braves dismantled the Mets at Shea 13-3. Top of the 9th inning, Coors Field in Denver, the Rockies lead Houston 5-3. The Cubs and Padres are in the bottom of the 5th inning at Petco Park with a 3-3 tie. Cubs 3, Padres 3, bottom of the 5th in San Diego. The Dodgers are beating Milwaukee in the top of the 6th in Los Angeles 5-1. And it's the Reds up on Arizona 4-0 in the bottom of the 3rd inning at Chase Field in Phoenix. Tonight, the game you'll hear in the zone, the Giants and Phillies at Citizens Bank Ballpark. That's our look at the State Farm Major League scoreboard, brought to you by State Farm Insurance agents Gary Schubat, Gary Schubat, Al Shetler, Dale Thompson, and Brad Dunn. Well, the Kernels extract a split in their 4-game series with Wisconsin, and it'll be a much more upbeat ride to Dayton, Ohio overnight. We'll be leaving in, about 2.5 hours or so to take on the Dayton Dragons in Game 1 of an 8-game road trip to Dayton and Clinton. Tomorrow evening, we'll have the South Slope Communications Triple Play Show for you on our sister station, 1450 KMRY, at 5:40. 5:40 will be our South Slope Communications Triple Play Show time tomorrow from Fifth Third Field in Dayton. The Kernels, got 2 in the first and never gave the lead up, hung on to beat Wisconsin 6-5, and finished the 8-game homestand with a 5-3 record. It was a pleasure bringing you this afternoon's action. This is John Rogers wishing you a great rest of your Sunday afternoon here from Veterans Memorial Stadium where the Kernels win it 6-5. This has been Kernel Baseball on the Kernel Radio Network.